up in black and white, and you're dressed in that dress I like.
You're watching Service Electric 2 Sports, presented in high definition.
Jay Burning Crump Stadium in Allentown, the site tonight for the opening round of the PIAA playoffs. 3A classification has the Comets from Crestwood with a record of 12-0. They are the District 2 champs, take on the District 11 champs, and the Golden Hawks from Bethlehem Catholic coming in with a record of 11-1. Hi and welcome everyone. Al DeCaro alongside Matt Province. Glad you could join us here on Service Electric 2 Sports. And a nice night right now with no wind, but a cold night for these teams. But we are into the month of November. We are in the playoffs. And Matt, when you look at this matchup, basically it's simple. You win, you move on, you lose, and your season comes to an end.
Well, it's very exciting because you look at a team like Crestwood, never have been in the state playoffs until tonight. So they have a lot to play for, a lot of excitement. And of course, the team that left a little on the line, they felt last year in a loss in the first round when you talk about Becca. Now, again, you're talking 6-7 in the state rankings with Crestwood 6. So this is a great matchup. Two tremendously different offenses and defenses. Should be a real contrasting event.
Well, let's talk about the Crestwood Comets coming in off a win against Berwick. Berwick, of course, played Bethlehem Catholic last year and beat them. You know, a great year to this point, 12-0, trying to make it 13-0 when their key players coming in is Frank Eideldinger.
This guy can run a little bit. Now, remember, they run a single wing. This is an offense that you haven't seen if you're Bethlehem Catholic, but he can really run. He's a patient runner, which is really helpful when you play the single wing. Sets up his blocks, then he has an explosive amount of speed. He's going to be a trouble for the Bethlehem Catholic Golden Hawks if they don't keep an eye on the football.
For Bethlehem Catholic and Joe Henrik rolling along on a 4-game winning streak. Their only loss, of course, coming to Stroudsburg. That was back in October, playing really good football at this point, coming off a district championship win, back-to-back titles against Saucon Valley. Julian Spigner, their quarterback, doing a great job.
Well, you know, they say he's got two great receivers, and he does. Two guys who could play Division I football. But you know what, Al? He's getting better. You know, he's got the skill set. He's learning to read defenses. He's called his playmaker, according to their head coach. So obviously, he's doing things right from the quarterback position, and better than all his talent, he's a great kid who works his tail off, you know, again, according to the coaching staff. So I'm looking forward to seeing him work here against this defense tonight that the Comets will put forth.
Well, we expect a good one here as Crestwood taking on Bethlehem Catholic next on 2 Sports.
At Vinart's all-new Phillipsburg Easton Hyundai, you'll find great people in a great location ready to assist you with your next vehicle purchase. We'll give you the information you need to make an informed decision. Owe more for your trade than it's worth? We can help. Bad credit? We can help. Need a lower payment? We can help. And unlike the competition, when you choose us, you get Hyundai's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and our exclusive owner benefits package, standard with every purchase. Get all the facts at pehyundai.com.
Since 1937, Walters Pharmacy has been making life easier for you, the name you trust most when you need your prescription filled. That's because getting your prescription right is our #1 priority, and only Walters Pharmacy delivers anywhere in Allentown for free. Our wide selection of health products and mobile equipment, as well as our convenient hours, make Walters Pharmacy the fast and convenient choice.
I went to Walters Pharmacy and they were able to supply all of my child's needed medications.
I call Walters Pharmacy for all my prescriptions and healthcare items and have them delivered to my door.
Walters Pharmacy in Allentown.
Big Woody's Sports Grill is a Lehigh Valley classic. After work with the guys or gals, or bring the whole team. You're an all-star at Big Woody's. Catch dinner with the family and never miss the game. Make it an away game with takeout or delivery on our entire menu. It's your call. And check out our website for today's food and drink specials. With 5 Valley locations, there's a Big Woody's ready to serve you.
At the Lehigh Agency, we believe that a one-size-fits-all insurance policy just doesn't work when everyone's situation is unique. That's why our independent agents tailor each plan to your specific needs. First, you let us know what kind of insurance you're looking for, home, auto, or life. Next, we determine what kind of coverage will work best for your lifestyle and save you money. Lastly, we find the carrier and plan that fits your budget. And there you have it, the insurance you need at the price you want. Lehigh Agency Insurance, online at lehighagency.com.
Tonight's opening kickoff sponsored by Kleckner & Sons Appliances, the leader in sales and service for almost 70 years. If a touchdown is scored on this kickoff, we'll draw a name and the winner will receive a $150 gift certificate to Kleckner & Sons Appliances. For your chance to win, visit Kleckner & Sons Appliances in Whitehall or Emmaus. No purchase necessary.
Back here at J. Barney Crum Stadium in Allentown, 12-0, 11-1. You win, you move on, you lose. Your season comes to an end here in 2014 as Crestwood coming off a win against Berwick, 35-19. Bethlehem Catholic coming off a win against Saucon Valley by the score of 49-7. Obviously, these two teams expected to be in a position like this. Let's take a look now at our overhead door. Keys to the game, man.
All right, well, I'll tell you one thing that you have to do if you're the Crestwood Comets. You have to limit the big plays. That is key number 2 on their list, because last week they did win. They won 35-19 over Berwick, but Al, in that game they did allow 334 yards of offense, 4 plays of 36 yards or more. Also, they allowed touchdowns of 64 and 95 yards. You have to be able to limit things like that against this very explosive Bethlehem Catholic team. They too want to limit big plays, but they want to be efficient. Remember, on defense, they're facing a single wing for the first time this season. That is something, of course, that will prove a little bit difficult, I'm sure, here in round 1 of the state playoffs.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. They put Freddie Simmons up to the 25-yard line, and back there is McDaniel and E.J. Finneran. Ready to kick off to get this game underway is George Gendler, the 6'1" senior. And these two teams are well aware and know how to score. They're averaging 47 points per game in Crestwood and 45.8 for the Golden Hawks, but two different styles that we'll see tonight. A frigid night here at J. Barney Crum Stadium, but an interesting night. The winner will either get District 5 Somerset or District 4 Selinsgrove next week. Gendler has it on the tee. J. Barney Crum Stadium, first round of the playoffs, and we are underway to skip this one through, and not the place they wanted to go, but it actually goes to Freddie Simmons, and Simmons breaks through and gets tripped up at around the 38-yard line. So surprisingly, they go towards Simmons, but they handle him easily there to start things off. Starting lineup, sponsored by Lehigh Valley Health Network, the official medical provider of the Eastern Pennsylvania Conference Championship Series, where the Bethlehem Catholic Golden Hawks, Julian Spigner leading the attack. As we mentioned him during the open, Mike McDaniel and Freddie Simmons, the key players there. Defensively, Matt Bobeck and Lance Blass with 9 interceptions on the season. Start things off from the 39-yard line, and they will start via the ground, and going right through is McDaniel. McDaniel has the opening and is off to the races for the touchdown. 61 yards, and just like that, in the first play of the game, the Bethlehem Catholic Golden Hawks on the scoreboard. The speed shows it off.
Well, that's impressive. 61 yards on the very first tote of the game by a guy that went into 3rd place all-time in single-season Bethlehem Catholic history. And I want to watch you, too, if we get a replay here when we do, the way he set up his blocking, the way he followed the hole, was able to get right through. And I tell you what, then the speed takes over, and this McDaniel can fly.
Will Ward with the extra point attempt here. And that one is good. 7-0 here. 20 seconds in. Good sign, Matt, if you're a Golden Hawk fan anyway.
Oh, McDaniel doing it. Now remember, he came in with 31 touchdowns. He was tied for second all-time at Becca history with Eddie Scipio. And here he gets the handoff to get good blocking up front. But right there, he's able to find a little crease. Goodbye. And then watch, he waits. He saw the one cornerback, Chang, go one way, so he cut it back up the gut again. Oh, good vision, better speed. And then, of course, don't forget about the blocking up front that gave him that initial seam. And the result is one play, 61 yards, and a 7-0 lead. And that's the way that Joe Henrik wanted to get things going. Remember, they have a bitter taste in their mouths from the first round loss a year ago. That's a good way to try to fight it.
Yeah, and if you're Crestwood, even your fans are still ready, sitting down, getting that hot chocolate. Next thing you know, you're down by a score of 7-0 that quick. And oddly enough, they did try to, kick the ball off to Freddie Simmons, a person that didn't hurt him but then on the first play, it was McDaniel that did hurt him.
Well, the one thing that you did hear Greg Myers talk about all week long, Al, he was afraid of the fact that this was the most talented team, and I quote, the most talented team that we have faced yet this season. They not only have size, but they have speed, and so far, one play from scrimmage in, he's seeing more of what he expected to see out of this team, which is speed and size as well.
Ward lets that one fly, and it's fielded at the 10-yard line. And we'll see the first time for the Comets, taken there by Jay Popson. Popson, of course, is also your quarterback for this football team. And we'll see the offense come out for the first time. And for Crestwood, their offense, you take a look at the starting lineups, and they're pretty potent. And it comes with 4,000-plus yards of offense. Frank Eideldinger, who we mentioned during the open, the key guy. Again, they run the single wing, so you'll see a lot of guys getting the football here tonight. They'll start things off from the 29-yard line. And their first snap, and it goes to Eideldinger. Eideldinger tries to bust to the outside, and he is taken down. First guy in was Dante Leonardo.
And give him credit, too, because he never really did go down. He hit a wall, kept on the legs churning. But the thing for Bethlehem Catholic, look, you're facing a single wing, Al. Vision is going to be important. Your eyes are important. You cannot let the deception take over at the line of scrimmage, or they'll hit some home runs. They had a couple of big home runs last week, 3 very long runs in the win against Berwick. That's what Bethlehem Catholic has to minimize. They have to keep honest on defense and stay true to the reads.
Yeah, just a pickup of 2 yards there on the play by Eideldinger. Second down and 8 from the 31-yard line. And they'll go to the ground. They fumble the football. Ball's on the ground. Bethlehem Catholic gets on it, and the Golden Hawks on 3 plays have the football.
Well, Schroeder was able to recover the fumble, but it was really made happen up front. Ryan Johnson, a big reason for that. You can see him celebrating, getting the crowd going. And I mean, if you're Becca, you can't have a better start to a state playoff football game. You've run 3 plays from scrimmage. 1 was a touchdown, 1 was a turnover you created. And let's get the look just to see how it happened. A little trouble there on the rotation as the quarterback went through his spin cycle, and boom, that ball's loose. And the Golden Hawks able to perch right on the football.
So the fumble on the 3rd play, the ball at the 29-yard line. They stay with McDaniel. McDaniel cruises, and he gets down to the 10, down to the 5-yard line, and goes in from 29 yards. 10:32 on the clock, 13-0 Bethlehem Catholic. They score, and they're scoring quick.
And right now, if you're Crestwood, the first time ever the school has gone into the state playoff games, what you want that do-over card. You want that Monopoly get-out-of-jail-free card, because this wasn't supposed to happen. Look how patient McDaniel is. I mean, he's weaving through. He doesn't just get ahead of himself and just run straight with his speed, knowing that he might find a secondary member. He continues to juke and jive all the way into the end zone. How about his start?
Number 6, Willie Ward's kick is up, and it's good. And with 10:31,
that takes all but 9 seconds, and McDaniel with a couple of touchdowns on the night. He's starting solid. I mean, they're giving the football. Why do anything else at this point? You have so many weapons, but until you don't stop them, well, we're talking only 2 plays.
Well, I'll tell you, Joe Hendrick said the one thing that you can't teach, he's got so many of these things, but his sidestepping ability, his cuts to get out of trouble are cuts that other guys just don't make, and he just cut and zigzagged all the way downfield. I mean, it was a thing of beauty, and if you're McDaniel, you've got 2 rushes in the game for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 minute and 29 seconds in. You're on your way to a pretty good afternoon. So again, Schroeder recovered the fumble. That was help caused by Ryan Johnson in part with that defensive line up front. And how about this for Becca? I mean, you want to talk about everything going your way. This is exactly what they would have drawn up.
2 carries for McDaniel, 90 yards. That is a good start.
Yeah. 2 touchdowns, too. I mean, if you're playing,
that's right.
If you're playing PIAA fantasy football, boy, McDaniel right now is a first-round value.
He's the guy that you want. And this one will go to Popson, and Popson gets popped.
Whoa.
And there's a big stick.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Smith feeling it. He's had a terrific year in that defensive backfield and on special teams. Puts a licking on Popson. And, you allow momentum to fester. It can happen in good ways. It can happen in bad ways. Right now for Bethlehem Catholic, Al, they're going to exude some confidence here because everything has gone their way so quickly in this game. It's now or never. You got to think the Comets have to come out here, establish what they do. Long drives, ball control to kind of wear down and wane that confidence away and get back into this football game so early on.
There's no you know, you're a Bethlehem Catholic, and you're trying to get the knockout punch here early. I mean, you're not even 2 minutes into the contest. Popson's going to throw, has a receiver, and connects as he hits Jacob Spegner. And Spegner gets hit on the play after about a 6-7 yard pickup.
Yeah, Zabanger, unsung hero, according to head coach Greg Myers. He was an all-conference fullback. And Al, that is just his first catch that I have of his season. He had rushed the ball 6 times, but he's known for his blocking. And that's why, again, he was all-conference. And they're showing some hands out of the backfield. And for a team you don't expect to put it up, they can when they need to. And there they do. They change it up a little bit to try to get some momentum back.
They pick up 7, just underway from J. Bernie Crump Stadium in Allentown. And if you're just joining us, you missed a lot already. A 61-yard touchdown run by Mike McDaniel, first play of the game. A fumble recovered by William Schroeder, and a 29-yard touchdown by McDaniel. They'll go to the ground, and they'll take it by Popson. Popson will get the first down. He gets to the outside and finally pushed out of bounds by Freddie Simmons with some help from Mike McDaniel.
Now, Popson can do a little bit of everything, Al. He rushed for 850 yards this season, which was 99 to be technical, 99 more yards than he threw for. So he can do a lot of different things. And, normally he gives up his body as a lead blocker out of the single wing. There he was a recipient of the tote, and it worked out pretty well.
Ball up to the 49-yard line. A 44-yard line, excuse me. First real positive play to start things off. Popson on the handoff. Tries to push forward. A bunch of guys in there, including Will Ward. Ward's been on and off with injuries, but boy, and he's even at 70%, he gives you so much weapons. He's really tough.
Well, 11 all-conference players here on this Comets team, so certainly they racked up the hardware in the postseason. Popson, one of those guys at 6'2", 203, able to move the pile a little bit. But, his biggest attribute with this offense, Al, is the fact that he knows he can read defenses. And I was talking with Greg Myers before the game. He said, Popson could probably run the offense himself if he had to. So he gives you not only some skill running the ball and throwing the ball, but he's very savvy. He's a smart quarterback, and obviously, as just a junior, or a senior rather, provides a lot of potency to this offense.
And the handoff goes to number 3 as Eideldinger gets close to the first down marker.
Now, Eideldinger, a mouthful to say, a lot of letters and all, and if you have a last name like this, you expect to have runs like this. I mean, look at him work, a stiff arm, then look, he doesn't go down. This is the second time now we have seen Eideldinger get the ball, and he keeps on moving the legs. This guy's tough. He's explosive in the open field, but he sets up his blockers, and he's a hard, tough runner.
We're going to measure this one and bring this one straight across the length of the field. Good look at number 12, Jay Popson, the nephew of Dave Popson, who played for University of North Carolina. Played in the NBA as well, so obviously has some good blood in him.
He's going to need it tonight. It's down into the 20s tonight. He's going to need some of that red blood that matches the color on his football helmet.
Oh, Matt, so far so good for us. We're outside here enjoying it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you look like you're a little chilly, but I got some chili for you there too.
Let me tell you something. You're a triple-digit cake right now in terms of dollar sign if you have as many layers as I've got on. And my nose is running just as fast as McDaniel and Eideldinger and everybody else out there.
This one just short. So a couple inches. Now, you look at a team like the Comets that have a 2,000-yard rusher. Popson's rushed for 850. Kalu for almost 800. Bobeck for 550. I mean, you're talking about, a bunch of yardage. And here, you need 6 inches. Obviously, you would think on paper this will be easy. But again, everything's on paper.
And it's tricky because you're a defensive line. You can find the football and make a play. Sometimes that extra second, though, to react out might cost you a yard or two. So in short yardage situation, you would think that this offense could cause a little bit of confusion up front.
3rd and inches. Eideldinger will get it and a little bit more as he crosses the 40 down to about the 37-yard line before he's taken down on the play. William Schroeder, one of the guys in there, along with McDaniel.
Let's get a look on replay. Now, I didn't think they'd go direct snap to Eideldinger, but I tell you what, this is a good play because you get it to a patient guy. He waited, he went laterally, found the hole, and then just went forward, okay? No dancing. He saw the hole, boom, he's gone. And early on, again, they're playing a very good defense, big, talented athletes, but I like the way this kid runs. He's always looking. He's very patient setting up his blocking.
Good drive here to the 37-yard line, down 14-0. As they go counter far side and taken there by Connor Keenan. his first carry of the game.
Keenan came in this season as a guy that doesn't get a ton of carries compared to some of the other guys in the backfield, but still made the most with them. And again, good play on defense because they were not fooled that time, and it loses one. But good blocking up front typically throughout the course of the season. Now, you don't run for that many yards if you don't get the performance from guys like Koch, who's getting some looks for FCS, even FBS. He's one of the tackles. Hess, Moran, Klintz, Kita. They've done a really nice job all year long.
A loss of a yard. 2nd down 11. The ball right around the 38-yard line. And again, in the second carry of the game, taken there, bouncing off defenders is Keenan. Again, coming into the game, less than 5 carries for him, I believe. Yeah. But he's got the last 2, so this is interesting.
You know, see, that's what I thought. You know what, they're announcing that as number 8. That 6 on the back of that jersey looks like an 8. That's not who they announce here. That's actually Tanner Kalu, and that's what I thought, because he's been playing the wing. He's an all-conference player. He's really their counter guy. He's their counter guy, and he's hit a lot of home runs as a result of the success by Eideldinger. But yeah, they keep announcing number 8 on the carry, but those numbers, look at you when you're that far up at J. Bernie Crump Stadium, will get you a little confused.
Yeah, we're wondering because we got the chart all the way down to 5 carries. He didn't have any. So Kalu with both carries for him. Now flushed out of the pocket. Popson, nowhere to go. He gets a good block for a second, but then he gets taken down on the play either way. So they came and a bunch of brown jerseys made their way towards him, and finally Leonardo takes him down.
Well, Leonardo had 4.5 sacks during the season, led the team out, 17.5 tackles for a loss. I mean, so this guy can get through that offensive line and make some hay. And sure enough, a bunch of brown jerseys, as you mentioned, did, but it was eventually, Leonardo to make that tackle. And just when you thought Crestwood was getting a little momentum, credit this Beckett defense. You hear all about the offense, credit the defense for coming up with a big stop.
So pops in the punt, and they angle this one away from Freddie Simmons. And now we'll get a roll towards about the 17-yard line. So this will be the first time a little deep in their zone is Bethlehem Catholic. And Matt, exactly that. You look at Crestwood, they're down 14-0, 5:35 left. They're driving it down to about the 37, 38-yard line. All of a sudden, things are looking good. Next thing you know, you're going backwards on a couple of plays, and then the sack brings you back. You got to punt the ball. Now, if you're Bethlehem Catholic, an opportunity, instead of maybe possibly 14-7, 21-0.
Yeah, and you like the style. You get an aggressive style out of Joe Henrik, who's the head coach for Bethlehem Catholic, and he's got to be thinking in his head. Doesn't want to get ahead of himself, Al, but if you go up 3 scores at some point against this type of slow, methodical, grinded-out offense, you're going to like your chances.
Here's Spigner going to throw for the first time, and E.J. Finnering going to come back, but Spigner's going to run, and he was close to that first down.
Yeah. Tackled by Eideldinger, and as good as he is on offense, and we've talked all about him, his head coach Greg Myers says he's a better middle linebacker than he is a run back. So that's got to be pretty good considering the guy's rushed for better than 2,000 yards this season. But they are an open field tackle that could have saved a huge play. He doesn't make that tackle. You've got the sidelines, and now you're looking at another third long run. Just 7 minutes into this football game.
So he gets 9, maybe 9.5. Low snap. Spigner will move the chains on the first down. Now Spigner comes into the game with 385 yards on the ground and 75 carries, 4 touchdowns. He averages 5 yards a rush. So, I mean, he's capable of running the football. You're talking about a player that's already thrown for more than 2,100 yards. These impressive numbers this year for Julian Spigner.
Yeah, 2,100 yards, 26 touchdowns. Both of those ranked 3rd in District 11 standings.
Again, another low snap. And this time the defense comes smothering through.
Number 2, Michael McDaniel.
As McDaniel gets stuffed in there.
Akita, he's a guy that's all conference. Okay, we talked about him having a chance to play at the next level, play a little college football, and that's a big play because he got through in the backfield and he didn't let some of these elusive players get by him. In this case, he would not let a guy as difficult to tackle as McDaniel get away.
Spigner connects, and that's Simmons who makes the catch for a first down downfield at the 45-yard line. So first time tonight targeting Freddie Simmons, who makes his 51st catch of the season. He averages about 15 yards, and there you show where he can catch the football.
And now has made a verbal commitment to Rutgers to play Big Ten football, and you're going to see a lot of talent, a lot of skill from this kid if you continue watching this telecast here tonight.
That's Spigner. Third carry in this drive. Breaks a tackle, goes towards the sideline, puts his head down and gains a few more. About a 13.5-yard pickup for Spigner, and the ball inside Crestwood territory.
Well, again, you're not going to get a whole lot of chances to get these guys at the line of scrimmage. Last play, Keita did a good job making sure that McDaniel didn't get away from him. But you're going to watch here. Here's their big chance. This could be a loss or maybe no gain, but he's able to sidestep the tackle there and then puts his head down, gets a couple extra yards.
Fourth rushing first down for Bethlehem Catholic. They bounce off a defender there momentarily, but Nathan Burke makes the catch for a couple yards.
Well, now you see a little confidence coming from the quarterback. You know, early on we were saying McDaniel shred the defense on just a couple of carries for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns, but now they're showing you the other side of what they want to be a very balanced offense. How that's the passing game.
Here they pitch it back to McDaniel. Tries to get cut inside, but could not. First guy in, jumping through, is Seamus Rother.
Yeah, and Rother has made 2 straight plays, okay? So here's a guy that doesn't want to see his team get any farther behind. He's a junior, and 2 very good plays in a row. And now, look, here's another chance to try to stop this buzzsaw known as the Golden Hawks offense and stay in the game. Again, it's only 14-0. Big stop here, and they're out of field goal range.
First quarter brought to you by Kleckner's, 2 locations, Whitehall and Emmaus, serving the Lehigh Valley for almost 70 years. ABE Doors and Windows timeout comes with 2:48 on the clock, a 14-0 game. A 61-yard touchdown run the first play of the game by Mike McDaniel made it 7-0. Then a fumble recovery by William Schroeder. It led to a 29-yard touchdown run by Mike McDaniel. That was at the 10:32 mark, so 2 touchdowns in 1 minute and 30 seconds. And we stand here 14-0 with still 2:48 on the clock and Bethlehem Catholic driving.
Good look at Bethlehem Catholic sidelines. They're talking about finishing. They didn't finish last year, but I talked with Joe Henrik earlier in the week about what the team's mission has been, what types of things have motivated this team, and he said, you know, there's a movie about to come out, Unbroken, okay? And Dr. Jared Spencer, who's a sports psychologist, has worked with the Bethlehem Catholic football team this year. He's told the story about the World War II hero, former Olympian who survived a plane crash and then had 47 days on a raft, couple years living in a prisoner of war camp, and yet he never let his will demise, okay? He wouldn't let himself break, okay? And that's the story this year for Bethlehem Catholic, and so far through the first quarter of football, they're not breaking.
Not at all. 3rd down and 8. This looks like to be 2-down territory, you would think. Spigner goes up top and has Finneran on the money for the touchdown. E.J. Finneran, 40 yards, as he scores for the 8th time this season.
That's a post route, and it's thrown to perfection now. You're talking about a 40-yard strike with a throw right there from the quarterback Spigner, who we previewed in the opener, right where it needed to be, leading one of his 2 fabulous receivers, this time E.J. Finneran for the touchdown. Single coverage, made him burn, and the throw again, we'll see here in a moment, was splendid.
Extra point here by Will Ward. And that one is up and wide right. Yes, it is wide right. So the only thing that hasn't happened positively is right there.
Well, Bethlehem Catholic last week got up 21-0 early on in the first half against Saucon Valley. Here they're up 20-0. And let's get a look at the Golden Hawks, because I tell you one thing, this is exactly the way they wanted things to take place. Earlier, we saw McDaniel on those touchdown runs, but this drive was all about Spigner. Nice little run there. Could have been longer, but a good play on defense by Eideldinger. Then here, nice grab there. He's got 2 very talented receivers. That's one of them, Freddie Simmons. He's the speedster. He's the blazer. Now again, some more on the ground. As you can see, some sidestepping ability. Lowers the boom. Shows you he's physical as well. But here's what I like. I mean, this is beautiful. One-on-one. He's going to go up top on the post as his man, and Finneran, who's a little bit more of the deceptive speed guy, more physical than the flying Freddie Simmons, complements him well, and the 2 are just valuable weapons at the disposal of Julian Spigner.
So 20-0 game. Referee Bob Hickey, District 1 officials tonight. Ward sends this one towards the 8-yard line. And that one is picked up by Kalu, but nowhere to go.
And Finneran, right after a touchdown catch, Al, he's downfield on special teams.
22-yard line.
It's, you know, it's not easy. You know, he can sit back and say, well, I just made a nice play. I got the touchdown toss and maybe cruise a little bit on special teams with your team up 20-0, but not this first team defensive back.
This becomes, I mean, we're talking only 2 minutes, 37 seconds left in the first quarter. However, you got to score here if you're a Crestwood, because you don't want to dig yourself a deeper hole than this, because you're already down 20-0. Again, last drive was a positive drive until the Leonardo sack that they had to force the punt. Popson, far side, and gets Eideldinger. Eideldinger tries to break through, still on his feet, pushes forward, and gets right close to the first down marker, and then a flag thrown in at the end of the play. Let's see if they wrapped around. Not sure if there was a face mask there at the end.
There is a penalty flag on the play.
Sideline warning on white.
All that, and just in a sideline warning.
Kind of an anticlimactic flag, but
take a look.
I like this kid. I mean, look at him. He gets hit right at the line of scrimmage, breaks 2 tackles, breaks another. It took 5 guys to get him down. All those yards came after contact, so that's what you want to see out of your back. He's acting as a receiver in that play, but he's showing you an ability after the catch is made to get more yardage after catching just 3 balls for 33 yards during the regular season. But, oh, by the way, he rushed for 2,000.
There's a flag, so all of a sudden, back-to-back flags. Stoppage comes here with 2:19.
Dead ball, offsides, defense, still first down.
Now, if you're Bethlehem Catholic, you don't want to give them any positive 3 yards.
Last year, penalties were a big factor in them losing this same game. Of course, it wasn't against Crestwood. It's the first time these programs have ever met one another, but it was Berwick, the team that Crestwood not only beat for the chance to get to states, also beat them earlier in the year. They went 2-0 against Berwick this season, but you know the penalties are the one thing right now that you don't think Joe Hendrick wants to see from his team. Everything else is going really well.
1st and 5 from the 33. Eideldinger, far side, looking in that direction, and he's going down the sideline, and that one is incomplete. Had one-on-one coverage down the sideline, but pretty good coverage there by the Golden Hawks.
Well, yeah, Josh Heron is a guy that doesn't want to get burnt there and did a very nice job. I think this is a really nice ball, though. Let's get a look on replay. A little fly route. He has Eideldinger out there, and you know what? One of the other receivers in the play kind of drifted into the pattern and put too many brown jerseys in a small spot. I think one-on-one there, Al, he might make that grab, but another set of arms came in, and the ball went through everybody, and I don't think Eideldinger really got a good look at it because of the extra defensive help. So, again, maybe there was a wrong route there, but 2 guys wound up in the same area, and on an otherwise really brilliant throw by their quarterback Popson, it goes incomplete.
At the same time, Matt, you know it's early in this game, but you're all of a sudden, it seems like you're taking the Comets out of their flow, their kind of game that they want to run. You know, they want to run pound, 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 and all of a sudden we're seeing more through the air. Have they passed more during the playoffs? They have. But at the same time, you know, you're seeing them, you know, pass more than run. And now you're in a 2nd down and 5. You still have an opportunity here. You know you have the quality of running backs that you can gain those 5 yards. And throw. Popson, far side, connects on a quick hit. And he hits Connor Shalosky. Shalosky made a couple great catches last week against Berwick, moving the chains. He was pretty impressive what he was capable of doing with the football.
And he's got 23 receptions to lead the team this season. Nice little short route. He's able to find the chains, get there. Doesn't go down easily either. But remember what Greg Myers told us before the game? He said, you know, Popson, people look at the numbers. He's only passed for 751 yards because of the system, not because of an inefficiency or inability at quarterback. Well, they're behind now, so he gets a chance to show people what he can do. And so far, he's looked pretty good throwing the football.
Ball up to the 46-yard line. Eideldinger has a good lead block in front, still on his feet, powering through, and he'll get 9.5 yards. Again, talking about pulling Leonardo with him and pulling some defenders for the extra 4 or 5 yards.
He'd come back here to the Great Allentown Fair at the end of the summer and give rides to little children for about $1 a pop if you can carry guys like this. I mean, this is impressive to me because, look, he sheds 1 tackle there. He's got 2 guys all over him. He gets another 5 yards. And I tell you, they might be down 20-0, this Crestwood team. It's not because of the effort by Eideldinger, who so far has been very impressive with limited space to work.
Inside a minute to play in the opening quarter. 2nd down and 1. Popson as Eideldinger in front for the lead block will make the turn, get out of bounds, move the chains for another first down. Again, they've been right down here in this part of the field on their last drive, and then it was a Leonardo sack that brought them back, and they had to force the punt. So this is an interesting drive and a much-needed drive here for the Comets.
Yeah, I mean, it's 20-0 early in the game, but let's face it, I mean, much stranger things have happened now. I mean, there's plenty of time, there's an eternity, and I really feel as though coming away with points here, now, they're going to have to stop the guys wearing the brown and gold eventually, but a start right now would be scoring some points here, and so far it's a nice drive, second of 3 that have moved the ball, you know, into this half of the football field. But again, credit the Golden Hawks. They bent a little bit but didn't break the last time the Comets came into their territory.
For the Comets, the least amount of points scored this year in a game was Berwick. First time, 28-0. That was the first game of the season. They went 28, 31, 63, 62, 71, 41, 28. A second time, 49, 56, 50, and 56. Before the 35 that was scored last week against Berwick. So are they capable of scoring? Yes. They score over 45 points a game? Yes. And right now, maybe get another playoff.
You know, they only trailed once this season. It was 3-0 in Week 8 to Dallas. That's the only time they trailed the entire year now. They played 12 games. They've won all 12. They've only trailed 3-0. 3 points.
And they ended up winning 49-10 in that game against Dallas. Pretty impressive. I'm going to try to get this one off. Not sure if they will. They do. So last play of the quarter, flushed out is Popson. Looking. Can't find anything. Now goes to the far side. Going to tuck and go and has some space. He moves across, and good job of picking some positive yards there. I'll bring up a third down and short. But 1 quarter complete here. 20-0. Bethlehem Catholic, all Golden Hawks after 1 quarter of play. Back after this on 2 Sports.
Opening continues all month long, and it's huge. The grand opening of the all-new Rothrock Nissan. Now see even more new Nissans. And save even more money on spectacular deals like these. Lease a new Altima for an incredible $54 a month, or a new Maxima for only $154 a month, or up to $7,500 off MSRP. An amazing customer experience and an inventory beyond grand. It's epic. The grand opening of the all-new Rothrock Nissan continues. Rothrock, over 50 years and better than ever.
We are back, 1 quarter complete, 3 to play, all Bethlehem Catholic in the first quarter. 2 touchdowns by Mike McDaniel, and then a Julian Spigner to E.J. Finneran 40-yard touchdown, makes it 21-0. 66 yards of offense for Crestwood as Eideldinger goes far side and pushed out of bounds by McDaniel, but not before he moves the chains for another first down.
Well, I might just keep giving it to big number 3. This guy does not go down easily. He's fighting for all kinds of yardage. And here, let's get a look. Now, look, his quarterback is his lead blocker there. Now, he kept it out by bouncing it to the corner. And I wonder if he got taken out a little bit late. Kind of grabbed him by the back of the collar, and they're clapping on the Crestwood sidelines. I think this might be a penalty on that tackle.
Unsportsmanlike, on goal.
Now, again, if you're Bethlehem Catholic, you gave a 5-yard penalty first, but now all of a sudden you give up a big penalty, and Crestwood knocking at the door.
2 penalties now for 20 yards for a team that was penalized heavily in this game a year ago. And look where the Comets have advanced here, Al. I mean, you're talking about now the real solid chance of trying to gain back a little momentum and get a touchdown here. You're looking at a whole different ball game than you were for the whole course of the first quarter.
Just underway, quarter number 2. Al DiCarlo, Matt Province from J. Bernie Crum Stadium in Allentown, opening round of the PIAA playoffs between Crestwood and the Golden Hawks. They mark the ball right on the 15-yard line. And they'll come near side. And lots of opening and lots of space. And cruising in for the touchdown is Kalu, his 13th touchdown of the year.
Now, Kalu is the counter guy. I mentioned it earlier. And after Adeldinger to the strong side and to that jumbo side with all those men, they'll cut it back to Kalu. Last week, when they were icing the game in the fourth quarter, they had a huge 90-yard drive. They finally went to Kalu, and he broke one for a 48-yard touchdown run. This one not quite as long, Al, but with the significance of what's at stake right here and the way this game has started, maybe a much more important touchdown. As you mentioned there, he rumbles towards that left side of the end zone.
So the 15-yard touchdown, now the extra point, and that one is good. So a good way to start there in the second quarter, 20-7.
Well, this is as important as any drive as the Crestwood Comets have had this season, and they started with the arm of Pops. And look at the work on this. Look at Adeldinger. Boom, bang, bing. I mean, he's going to take that thing, giving rides to everybody. He gets about 8 yards there. Comes back on the run. You got him, right? Well, maybe not, right? Boom, bing, bang. There's another 5-6 yards, all yards after contact, showing the heart. Here he's able to draw a penalty, but after he turns the corner, still it's not easy to bring him down. He's so hard to bring down, they have to bring him down out of bounds, 15 more yards onto the run. Then they come counter. They go backside, and it's Kalu. He's been doing it all year long. A compliment, beautifully compliments the running back, Adeldinger. And sure enough, you've got a touchdown there and a well-orchestrated drive as you look at Adeldinger, who's got his helmet off. His team now finally stopping the bleeding for the time being, getting a little momentum against what's been a juggernaut Golden Hawk team out of the gate so far here this evening.
Yeah, so they get the touchdown that starts there for the second quarter, and a good way to start. And again, you can't dig yourself a hole because you know you have to score, or else next thing you know, you're staring at a big deficit. But when there's so much time on the clock, you just keep doing what you're doing. And I think that's what they were doing there. 9 plays, 88 yards. Took 2:51 off the clock. So Crestwood will give the football back here. Again, they have not stopped Bethlehem Catholic to this point, so this becomes now a defensive drive as they'll go short and picked up there by Simmons. Simmons at the 16. Simmons will cut to the near side, assess, and now look the other way. And he's going backwards here and nowhere to go. And Simmons weaving through traffic and just steps out of bounds. And fortunately for Crestwood, that was a good job. But going backwards is maybe not the way you want to go.
North-south, ball was out there a little bit too, Al. And I tell you, if that thing doesn't get tucked away a little bit, it's going to be poked out. I can guarantee you that. He's such a great athlete. He's got to be careful. You don't get sloppy now. You lead 20-7. You don't have to set the world on fire with a highlight reel play at this point. You got to keep possession of the basketball. Look, it's away from the football. Look, it's away from his body a little bit. Spins back, and now he knows he's in trouble. He's the type of guy, though, if he does that, he's going to break one now and again. But you have to know the situation right there. Didn't necessarily need to do that. So don't give any more momentum back to Crestwood.
Not at all. Since instead of the ball at the 37-yard line or so, they're back at the 21-yard line. They'll go to McDaniel. McDaniel's been all they've gotten. McDaniel's still on his feet. McDaniel gets across the 30. Up towards the 32 for about an 11-yard pickup and another first down.
They are finding room up the gut right behind their big center, Davis. And I mean, look, and then, they're really two different types of runners. Both guys are equally capable of reeling off big runs, but look at the cutting ability. I don't think there's more straight at you. He'll carry you, he'll bounce off of you. This guy can sidestep the best of them, and his shiftiness always gives him some extra yards.
They cut him short there, only a 9-yard pickup. And I don't think he got this 10 right there, as is McDaniel. And they had a bunch of white jerseys making their way back, including Jacob Sebegner.
There's your Wyoming Valley Conference Defensive Player of the Year, Matt Bobek. And it's plays like this, okay? Look, they've been going up the middle. They've been finding big chunks of real estate behind the big center. Not this time. They keened up a little bit there, and now we've got another short-yarded situation. If the Comets make another stop out, they're going to really start feeling pretty good about their chances of getting into this football game and giving a challenge after that huge swift counter punch they got in the first couple series of the game.
They fumble the snap. The ball is loose and on the ground, and the Comets will indeed get the football back.
Well, good for Crestwood because they didn't feel sorry for themselves down 20-0 in a nanosecond. They get the touchdown. They stop one of the better offenses in the region on second and short as they're able to stop two tries at it, force the punt. Let's go look what happened here. snap just really never got in Spigner's hands. And, really for some way there, you could say that Bethlehem Catholic was a little bit fortunate now, because if Crestwood gets it right there, they're knocking right back at the door, which they did. So, everything's going their way. All of a sudden now, the pendulum has swung the way of the Comet.
So things change, and they give it to Eideldinger. Eideldinger straight through the middle for a couple.
Takes the direct snap. He's tackled with number 9, Dante Leonardo.
A lot of people who know the programs and follow football in the area expected this to be high scoring. And I don't know if the ball just slipped out of the hands of Davis or maybe it caught his inseam, but it never clearly and swiftly found its way into the hands of the signal caller, Spigner. And then all of a sudden you've got this thing on the ground, and you could see it, but with so many legs and arms, it's very difficult to get to. And sure enough, the Comets were able to do so. So look at the field position off the turnover.
So pick up a 5 by Eideldinger. Here's Popson. Now that's Eideldinger actually following Popson and still popping through the defense and getting down to the 15-yard line. He's woke up the Comet crowd. They're on their feet here at J. Bernie Crump Stadium in Allentown.
Yeah, the old toy, the Weeble Wobble. It wobbles, but it never falls down. I don't know if they're still popular. They were when Al and I were kids. And this is what Eideldinger's doing. We've constantly mentioned how well he's done after contact. Gets behind his big blocker. You know who his big blocker is, as Al talked about? His quarterback. That's a good, disciplined, unselfish quarterback, Al, to go out there and throw his body around for his running back. Usually it's got to be the other way around.
Mm-hmm. So with approaching the 9-minute mark, things closing in on a change, really. After a 20-0 lead, knocking out the door, the ball sits at the 14-yard line for Crestwood. Eideldinger has a little seam, gets through it, still on his feet, marching through, and gets down to about the 5-yard line, still cuts in. Again, those feet keep on marching, he keeps on going.
I've never been to Mountaintop, Pennsylvania, but I guarantee you the people there who follow this football program appreciate a guy like Eideldinger. He doesn't go down. His will, I talked earlier about Unbroken being the theme for the Hawks. This kid's will to just keep on moving and go forward is just very impressive. And that's, again, how you rush for 2,000 yards.
9 carries, 62 yards at this point. Also has 1 catch for 11 yards so far tonight. Ball sitting, name mark just outside the 5, so put it at the 6-yard line. And they keep it in the hands of number 3. Spins and gets down towards the goal line. No signal yet. And they're going to mark him a little short.
He's kind of fortunate there. He was fighting so much more when he saw that goal line. The ball popped out. I believe he was probably down anyway, Al, but the ball popped out briefly, but he had to gather it up in his midsection, so he couldn't really extend it out towards the white line there to break the plane of that goal line. But either way, here's a huge opportunity. And if you turned this thing off or went away for a few minutes on the other channel somewhere, he wasn't down. That ball was out. He did recover it, but he couldn't stretch it out.
So from the 1, Eideldinger powers through, pushes forward, and gets in for the touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown run by Frankie Eideldinger, and it's 20-13.
24th touchdown for a guy over 2,000 yards this season. I love this kid. I watch Eideldinger. I watch all, the other athletes for Bethlehem Catholic have been very impressive as well. Everybody's showing their different set of skills, but this kid, he's not going down tonight. And his Crestwood team may or may not win, but I guarantee you it's not going to be anything that he didn't do. He's giving everything he can, and he's carrying guys all over the football field.
So points come off that turnover as they got the football back. Now the extra point, and that one is good by Keenan. And that cuts the lead to 20-14.
Good look at Eideldinger. Got up holding his lower back a couple of carries ago, but obviously seems to be fine. And you get that guy around the goal line, you just get the feeling that he's not going to be denied. And Al, we thought, well, maybe at 20-0 right out of the gates, this one might not be as entertaining, but all of a sudden, hold everything. Nobody told the Comets, and it started here. The defense needed to make something happen. Sure enough, it does. A turnover, and look at the bottom of the pile there. The ball picked up by Macri. Then, here's our man Eideldinger, just sifting through all the defensive players, and he doesn't go down. Picks up a big, healthy gain for a first down. On a direct snap, lowers his shoulder. Ball did come out, may or may not have been down regardless. He's right there to cover it up at the goal line. They go right back to their bell cow, and look at that effort. I mean, there is nowhere to go, but he just plows ahead like a road grader, and there's a good look at Idledinger. And Crestwood, the sidelines, a lot happier than they were about 25 minutes ago.
I think they were stunned 25 minutes ago. I mean, who wouldn't be stunned when you have 2 touchdowns against you in 21 seconds, made it 14-0, you know, scoring the way they did. It was pretty impressive, that's for sure. Well, right now we got a game and still 8 minutes left in the first half. They'll skip this one through, and this one will be bobbled and still on his feet, ball juggling. And fortunately, that popped up a 3rd time and goes in the hands of McDaniel as that one skipped up the sleeve there, and he ends up covering it up.
I mean, the momentum has swung so much, Al. I mean, it was so far brown and gold. Can you imagine if Crestwood bounces on this thing? I mean, they would be in a position to take a lead after the way they got punched in the gut to start this football game. But credit McDaniel. He said, you know what, let's not try to do too much. He fell on the football, located it, and as a result, prevents what could have been a very costly turnover, but we got a football game.
Well, we'll see how Bethlehem Catholic responds. And that's McDaniel on the carry across the 30 up towards the 32-yard line. Idledinger on the tackle.
Yeah, no surprise there. Again, a guy that we were told is a better middle linebacker than he is a run back. And as we've been gushing, he's a pretty darn good back. And he tackles another very good one in McDaniel, who had his first 2 runs go for touchdowns earlier today for 90 yards combined.
Yep, 7 carries now, 103 yards for McDaniel. That's over 100 one more time. This could be short of the first down marker, so it'll be 3rd down as we approach the 7-minute mark of quarter number 2.
Jabegner, the tackle there. McDaniel 3 times this season has rushed for 200 or more yards, Al. So, you know, we talked about him over 100, and that's not too unfamiliar territory. And sure enough there, he gets an extra little lunge to move the chains, and a little sigh of relief, I'm sure, on the Bethlehem Catholic side.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be a little short. They gave him a good spot, moves the chains, and the drive continues. Again, the Golden Hawks were rolling along, and then all of a sudden, Crestwood battles back, and now this is kind of reaction time to see, you know, if you're Bethlehem Catholic, what you're going to do. 6 first downs for the Golden Hawks. First one of this quarter via the ground. There's a flag on the play. They come towards Simmons, who's double covered, and he makes the catch. Now we wait on the penalty.
That's a pretty throw, and they bracketed Simmons, but you can't locate the football any better as a quarterback into the hands of your playmaker. It was a gutsy throw. He made the throw, and then he had enough faith in his receiver to go up and get it. And let's see the call. Legal shift, so it's coming back.
The 21-yard pickup coming back indeed.
Tough break for the Golden Hawks, but again, the ability to go up top. And you know, we talked earlier with Greg Myers, they're going to do some bracketing on these receivers. Well, here, double coverage. He still finds the outside, goes up. The ball's on his shoulder. I mean, what's this guy think he is? David Tyree holds on through the fall, makes the catch. That's why he's going to the Big Ten if that holds up, his verbal commitment to Rutgers. But again, unfortunately, the play didn't hold up for the Golden Hawks. And now they've moved the ball back. It's going to be a 1st and 15 that they face.
Bringing up good memories of David Tyree. Giants can use David Tyree right about now.
They could use a whole lot more.
Back to the game here, 1st and 15 from the 27. You just warmed me up a little bit. Throw to the near side, Finneran as Spigner gets popped, and so does Finneran as the hits keep on sticking, taken there by Seamus Rother.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rother is beginning to show you why this kid's a pretty good player, just a junior. That's about the 3rd or 4th nice stick he's made, Alan. He's making them one-on-one. Plays where if he doesn't make the tackle, they become big gainers. You've got a terrific guy in Finneran making the catch on a little slip screen, and boom, you get him lined up, and Finneran, very fortunate, got his foot out from underneath him because that one there could have been hazardous on the knee.
2nd down and 12, Spigner, that one gets tipped at the line of scrimmage. Boy, momentum really going in favor of the Comets at this point.
That's unbelievable. I mean, there was a whole crowd here at Jay Burney Stadium thinking that this thing might be over early, and Comets weren't among the group in here. They get the pressure. Look at the big hand. We were told about this kid, Rodney Koch. He is definitely a Division I football prospect. He's got great size, 6'4", 285, gets that big meat hook up there, gets that thing in the way and knocks down the pass.
Minuscule, 6'4", 285. Yeah. Come on. First big incompletion thrown by Spigner this evening.
Rodney Koch quenching the thirst of his teammates here tonight. And if they got to stop here, it's 3rd and long, Al. They got to stop here. It's going to be unbelievable to think that they'll have possession with the football for a chance to go ahead the way it started, like a buzzsaw in honor of the Bethlehem Catholic Golden Hawks.
So inside 6 to play, first half action. Game tighter than it was earlier when it was 20-0. It's 2014 Golden Hawks. Simmons motion far side. That ball just flicks back towards Spigner, and he throws, and he'll connect. So Finneran inside the 48-yard line for the first down. The market actually at the 49.
You know the old sports cliche about big players making big plays at big times. And Spigner, first of all, the snap wasn't right. Anytime you have a bad snap out, it's going to mess up the timing of the whole play. But he stood cool, got the ball. He knew where his target was, and more so he knew that Finneran would know where he needed to get for the first down. A couple of guys doing things very well, and as a result, they moved the chains.
Again, a low snap, having concerns there. McDaniel through the middle, getting a block in front. And now McDaniel busts to the outside and gets through and finally gets tripped up as they save it from going in. And the last second they got, I think it was Andrew Chang that brings him down, or else he was going in for another touchdown.
2 run backs I mentioned earlier that do it in different ways, but both do it so well and are so fun to watch. Just the way that you see McDaniel glide, and not just glide out, but he glides out of cuts. He is accelerating the moment he shifts and plants and goes the other way. He is fun to watch.
27-yard pickup. ABE Doors and Windows timeout comes with 5:28 on the clock, and Crestwood calls the timeout here in a 20-14 game. However, the Golden Hawks are driving downfield. An interesting first half of play, really 2 different kind of quarters. First quarter belonged to Bethlehem Catholic. Second quarter has belonged to the Comets.
I'm warming up too, because early on it was freezing here. It was 20-0. We were like, uh-oh, those toes were nipping a little bit. You know, Jack Frost was in on the booth, our 3rd man in the booth location. But obviously now with the game getting tight, things certainly heating up here at Jay Burney.
Now take a look at Atlanta Buzz. The trivia question for tonight: who are the only two players to have more career touchdowns than Mike McDaniel in Bethlehem Catholic history?
Okay, we mentioned one earlier, but it's tough to get more than 61 touchdowns. That's what McDaniel came in with, and there's your answer.
Yeah, there's your answer. You ponder that for a second, and you get that one. And obviously, Eddie Scipio has done a tremendous job from 1998 to 2001 with 66. Tim Barlock, 62 from 96 to 98. 31 touchdowns this year, tied with Scipio for second place, and he jumps in a little ahead of Scipio now all alone after the touchdowns he had earlier tonight.
Look at this stick. Oh, nobody home up the middle. And you know why? Because Zebinger was there, and Zebinger banged into him, an all-conference player. Unsung hero, I mentioned it earlier. But Zebinger doing a great job reading the play, and that was key because he was able to jump the gun there.
Second down from a loss. Now Spigner assesses, he gets flushed out of the pocket, nowhere to go. Now has room to run, and he's going to take it. He gets a block by Simmons and then powers through and ends up getting positive yards inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line. Boy, Spigner was all the way back here at the 30. He looked down and he tucked and he was going.
Quarterback IQ. It's a football IQ that this guy certainly is showing. That's about the 2nd or 3rd time out I saw a play. As you see the heavy pressure by Bobek, again, the defensive player there in the conference, but plays that look to be losses that he doesn't panic. You know, he stays cool. He makes the pass for the first down on 3rd and long. He makes a long run there when he was about to get sacked and he's flushed out of the pocket. So you like what he's doing, taking what's given to him, Julian Spigner.
Yeah, and Rothers, the one that took him down, and McDaniel right through the middle, powering through and gets down to about the 1-yard line before they stop him. Boy, did he get through that hole in a hurry.
I feel like he needs another 2. Double deuces like Emmitt Smith, a guy that certainly broke our heart many a time for the Cowboys, but his running style with his vision, his quick acceleration continues to be a problem because if you give a little seam on that offensive line and the defense can't quite fill a gap, he'll find it, and he's going to exploit it getting into full speed on just 1 or 2 steps.
Second quarter brought to you by Kleckner's, 2 locations, Whitehall and Emmaus, serving the Lehigh Valley for almost 70 years. 20-14, inside 4 to play, knocking it at the door as the ball sits at about the 1.5. Spigner gonna roll, and he's gonna throw this one. That one a tough play, but that one into the hand, and a touchdown as he connects with number 5, and that, of course, is Freddie Simmons with another touchdown. It's his 14th of the year. He was tied in that category, not tied anymore.
No, 50 receptions up to this point coming into today. 14 touchdowns now. Gives him the record at Becca. Frank Travato was in that record book with Freddie. 13 touchdowns. That record has gone down. And it was a very good catch there in traffic, showing the strength of his hands, not to let that ball get knocked out. And with that extra point, good answer by the Golden Hawks now. Back and forth we go here in Allentown.
27-14. The 1-yard touchdown pass to Simmons from Spigner.
Spigner very impressive on the drive. This was the biggest play of the drive, Al. Remember, it was 3rd and long, 3rd and about 13. Snap was not good, didn't panic, rolled out, found this man who knew just where to go in Finneran, who caught a post for a touchdown for 40 yards out earlier. Then this guy, Shifty. I mean, he is like a little water bug out there. You can't find him. He gets behind those blocks and then he accelerates through. Tough to pick up for Spigner. Didn't panic there. Got flushed out of the pocket by a terrific defensive player, Matt Bobick. Look, he doesn't go out of bounds, takes a hit, keeps on going forward, and then this guy can do it again. Let him get down to the 1-yard line. Now, everybody thinks we're going to see McDaniel at the goal line. Well, great play call. Give him a little play fake. Rolls out, throws. Look at the catch. Look at the grip strength there by Simmons, who wouldn't let that ball get knocked out. That's a very good catch, and we've seen him in the open field show his wheels, his ability to cut. There he shows you how good his hands are.
Now an interesting final 3:44 to see where this game is going to go and who's going to have the momentum going into the locker room, as this one is fielded at the 10-yard line by Popson, and he gets taken down on the play right around the 21-yard line.
Well, the one thing that you'd have to agree with me, Al, on is that Crestwood doesn't want to go into the halftime down more than the 13 that they're in now. No. So knowing that kind of maybe dictates how this drive goes. Maybe you get a couple of first downs before you begin to open it up a little bit, but you want to be careful. You're back now just at the 23-yard line. You've got things back manageable a little bit more than after it was 20-0. I would assess the running game right now would be the key to try to keep moving those sticks or getting guys to jump off sides. There's another way to go.
Yeah. Giving them the short field if this is indeed on the Golden Hawks. Starting to become a factor here for the Golden Hawks.
Dead ball, offsides, defense, still first.
4th penalty for 30 yards.
28-yard line.
Now that changes things a little bit. It gives them a little bit more breathing room, and now the playbook opens up a little bit more on 1st and 5 with a deceptive offense. Still have number 3, though, back there behind that line, a guy that you want to make sure you're accounting for.
Eideldinger takes the snap, pops it in front with the block, and Eideldinger tries to dive forward, still on his feet. Thought he went down at the 28, ends up going up to about the 31.5.
Silly you think that Eideldinger's going down? Come on. I did too, Alan. I thought, wow, this time he's only going to get 1, and sure enough, what happens? Bounces off a few guys and gives him that 2nd and short. This kid's tough.
It'll be 2nd down and 1.
Yeah, keep moving his feet.
You know, physically, he's tall. He's 6 feet tall. He doesn't look like this huge, gigantic guy, but he takes those hits and keeps on churning.
Yeah, a low snap. Eideldinger needs 2. He'll get 3. And a little bit more, moving the chains up towards the 35, 36-yard line. Both teams, by the way, still have 2 timeouts remaining, so the clock really not a factor at this point with under 3 to play.
And that's perfect too, Al, because I said they wanted to try to see where they would go, maybe get a first down or 2 before getting a little cute with the way the time was. Well, now they've gotten the first of the first downs. There's still 3 minutes to go, so things looking a little bit better for Crestwood, and a chance maybe to hold the ball for a little bit, get some points on the board, and go into the half down a possession.
From the 36. Popson's going to throw. Boy, nowhere there. And he actually gets out of the pocket, ends up gaining a couple yards, but really nowhere to go. Will Ward comes up and makes a stop. Somehow he got himself out of there and not getting the sack.
There is a gain on the play too.
Pocket collapse quickly, as you can see here. Just a balanced rush. They don't blitz a lot. Bethlehem Catholic blitzes maybe just 25% of the defensive plays. They count on their front 4 to get pressure, and then they count on that big club. I mean, just the fact that this kid is playing, if he's got an injury that needs that type of apparatus on his right arm, you know he's tough.
Do you know how to spell apparatus?
I don't even know how to spell. I don't even know what that thing was on his hand. It's big,
He's had it on there for about 5-6 weeks, and he's the kicker also. He can kick. It doesn't bother him there, but making the tackles, he's doing a good job as well. It's Will Ward. 2nd down and 7, and the ball at the 39. Popson goes far side, and he'll connect with his receiver, and we'll get the 1st down on the play.
And Shalosky, the team's leading receiver, making a 2nd grab tonight. Does a good job moving the chains, and now, according to the recipe that I put forth, there's the 2nd first down in a row. Popson, again, doesn't have the passing numbers, but every throw that he has made, again, not a whole lot, but he's on time with every throw that we've seen.
Yeah, accurate thrower. Coming into the game, 32 of 62. He's only thrown the ball 62 times all year for 751 yards. Dinger. This time, all brown jerseys, nowhere to go.
Still won't go down, though. I mean, still is on his feet, but yeah, good job by Bethlehem Catholic, gang tackling there. They know they're going to have to do that. One guy to the ball is not going to be enough. You've got to get 2-3 guys there the way Edeldinger's running, and that time no gain. And, the Bethlehem Catholic defense, if they make a stop here out, it's going to also be a good momentum build for that unit, because I don't say they've shown to be vulnerable, but they did allow a couple of scores to allow the Comets back into the game. A stop here will make them feel pretty good about things going into the second half.
If you're Bethlehem Catholic right now, you didn't call the timeout. They called the timeout with 1:19. So as you mentioned, it's still 2nd down and 10 coming up here. So, there's time on the clock. And again, first things first, you got to stop them. As the Comets, dug themselves a 20-0 deficit and battled back, but Bethlehem Catholic answered. And I think, like you said, if they're down 13 going to the locker room, you regroup. All right, guys, we're down 13. You don't want anything more, but if you can get something. Now, they have range. We're talking about their kicker. Yeah. 45 is a range that, that they can go with. So if you get down there, right around the 28-yard line or so, they'll attempt it. So we'll see how they play here, the final 118.
And remember, Crestwood will get the ball out of the halftime, so even if they don't score and they go in down 13, they'll still feel good about having possession there. But I like where your head's at, because if they don't get a big gain here, now Bethlehem Catholic against the defense that has been a little bit vulnerable to big plays, vulnerable the last couple of weeks, with an offense that has guys who can make big plays, would be maybe induced into taking a timeout or two to try to get a chance to score more points.
From the 48. They go in the reverse and counter. The ball looked like it came out. It did not. And then pushing forward is Kalu. Yeah. And now if you're Bethlehem Catholic, you may think about it.
And this is what we were talking about here, because they have home run hitters. That's a good job up front. And you saw Schroeder, who's had a great year. He was first to the ball that time. And then the rest of the troops would follow. That's the way they're going to have to tackle. They have to wrap up against these guys who can break tackles.
Dinger makes the turn, and he gets to the outside, and it will be short, right around the 44, 43-yard line. Stops the clock with 47 seconds. You're in a position, again, you're either going to pin them back or you're going to try to go for it here. It's still 3rd down? I thought it was 4th down. The marker says 3rd.
Yeah,
it should be 4th. I think it's 4th down.
And now I'm going to take the approach that at this point,
there is a flag.
Oh, we have a flag here, so this might even move them back. Could give them another down depending on whether or not it's accepted. And it's going to look in.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
That's why the 3rd down is there. As they move it back, they decide to take the penalty. Now, all of a sudden, with 47 seconds left, if you're Bethlehem Catholic, this a big, big play.
If they did not accept the penalty, it would have been, what, 4th and 2? 4th and 2, yeah. You run the risk that maybe the Comets go for it and then you regret not accepting. Had it been maybe 4th 5, maybe 4th and 6, they would have thought to decline it to get the ball back. But at this point, they might not see much time left on the clock. But the one thing they're sure is that Crestwood's going to have to work really hard to have any chance of getting any points before the half.
I'll have to get a half here, a bunch back here if they're going to go for it. You're also going to see a timeout burn there as a quick go to Edeldinger, and Edeldinger breaks through, and he'll get up towards midfield, and Bethlehem Catholic calls a timeout. They're trying to call the timeout here. The clock's still winding down. No, they're not going to call it.
There's a gain of 11 on the play up to the 49-yard line.
The whole sidelines was asking for the timeout, but the head coach did not call the timeout. I'm actually surprised here.
Yeah, especially because you have a guy in Simmons who's returned 4 punts for touchdowns this season. A guy that if you can get the ball to an open space, which he'll presumably have on a punt, that could make for doom for an opposing special teams unit. But Again, they're complacent with their lead. Remember, again, Crestwood will get the ball out of the half. But all in all, the Comets have to be pretty happy with where they are, considering the fact that a couple of minutes in, they were all of a sudden down 14-0.
And I think there's a timeout. There was a timeout taken. There should be a play here still. I think there was a second they took a timeout. There should be
delay a game on white.
Oh, they didn't even take the timeout.
2 seconds on the clock, gentlemen. 2 seconds.
There is a delay of game against Crestwood.
So I thought Crestwood would at least take the timeout first. They decided not to. So again, still a play.
And if I'm I'm running around. I'm going to take the hike. I'm going to run around a few times up and down, get some wind sprints in, and then take a knee because I'm not playing at the first.
I'm running and dropping down on the ground. That's all I'm doing. There's no way I let this ball go.
Yeah, we're on the same page there, and I'm pretty sure that a guy as savvy, wise as Greg Myers, he knows what to do here. He's a guy that seasoned as a college football player down at Virginia Tech. And that's exactly what they're doing, running around, and I'll take a knee. Wait for the clock to go down. Yep.
So one half complete. Opening round of the PIAA Tournament 3A classification. We've got a good one cooking here. Bethlehem Catholic 27, Crestwood 14. Back after this on 2 Sports.
Even on the most perfect day, the unexpected can happen. But with just one call to their local Red Ribbon expert at Overhead Door, they can get their garage door fixed or replaced in a jiffy.
Call Overhead Door of Allentown today at 610-262-3530 or visit us online.
At Vinart's all-new Phillipsburg Easton Hyundai, you'll find great people in a great location ready to assist you with your next vehicle purchase. We'll give you the information you need to make an informed decision. Owe more for your trade than it's worth? We can help. Bad credit? We can help. Need a lower payment? We can help. And unlike the competition, when you choose us, you get Hyundai's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and our exclusive owner benefits package, standard with every purchase. Get all the facts at PEHyundai.com.
We know heat control means everything in cooking. That's why we reimagined the range using a tri-ring burner. From the lowest simmer to the hottest sear, nothing can stop you from achieving the perfect dish. Almost. GE, reimagining home.
Shop Kleckner & Sons and save up to $2,000 on select GE packages and get 12 months of interest-free financing and free delivery.
Even on the most perfect day, the unexpected can happen. But with just one call to their local Red Ribbon expert at Overhead Door, they can get their garage door fixed or replaced in a jiffy.
Call Overhead Door of Allentown today at 610-262-3530 or visit us online.
Corporate Images now offers in-house screen printing. Get great quality and guaranteed on-time delivery on all orders.
Remember, at Corporate Images, your logo is our business. Visit corporateimagesinc.com to learn more or to place an order.
You can find out. Contact Matt in facilities. He'll help you out.
And one more thing. There's a glitch in the AC. The air conditioning is broken. It's going to shut down tonight at 5 o'clock. Seriously, we have got to get this glass frosted.
Yep.
ESPN, serving sports fans everywhere.
Brought to you locally by Lehigh Valley Health Network, the official medical provider for the Eastern PA Conference Championship Series, helping athletes get stronger faster.
We're back here at J. Bernie Crum Stadium in Allentown. Now the Carlo Matt Province for PIAA playoffs. We're in the 3A classification. 27-14 is your score. And Matt, you look at this game in the half, and we'll see highlights a little bit later on in the halftime show. But, you know, the way this game started, and I say the way this game started, you think, Bethlehem Catholic is going to roll up the score and win this one running away up 14-0 in the first minute and 30 seconds. But things changed. There were some big plays in there, and Crestwood made themselves back into the game.
Well, I think the one thing that it was clear to us from Greg Myers is that his team has focus. They came out every week. It's an undefeated season. They kept their intensity. They kept their heads on every single week. using that 1 week at a time mentality. And so when they got behind, me and you, especially me up here sitting thinking, oh my goodness, what are they going to do? 20-0. Well, maybe it's time to fold up the tent. Good year. We finally made the state playoffs for the first time. But no, it's a focused bunch. They know what they have to do. It's a mature group. That's what Greg Myers loves about his team. And they allowed that momentum of the season, even though they had fallen behind early on, to stay there. And they came out and scored a couple of big touchdowns, or else this thing would have long been over. So I really credit the Comets. Now, granted, they're down 13 points, but it really did look the way things just snowballed out of the gates tonight. Like this could be a laugher. No, nobody's laughing right now. This is a pretty good football game.
Yeah, the winner either gets District 5 Somerset or District 4 Selinsgrove next week. Right now, it's at the half, 27-13. Bethlehem Catholic back after this.
Hey, when was the last time you witnessed a really great battle?
Eagles?
Cowboys?
Steelers?
Browns?
Chiefs?
Chevy?
Now that's a battle.
That's right, Chevrolet, America's Cars and Trucks. Cruise at $129, Silverados at $199.
Hey, everybody wants to drive a Jeep Cherokee or a Wrangler, $199 a month.
John?
Charlie?
No matter if it's a Chevy
or a Jeep,
whatever you're looking to drive, Rentschler has your vehicle.
Only minutes away in Slatington.
With GE's new front-load washer and dryer, you're just one simple step away from perfect laundry. Exclusive right-height pedestals are built in for everyday ease and comfort, while innovative one-touch stain-fighting technology shows you how a little American ingenuity goes a long way in making clean simple. GE, reimagining home. Shop Kleckner & Sons and save up to $700 on select GE washers and dryers, and get 12 months of interest-free financing and free delivery.
The name Duncan Auto Body is your assurance of a job done right. At Duncan Auto Body, we do more than fix cars. We help people. When you choose Duncan Auto Body, you're choosing someone you can trust, someone that will relieve your stress and do the job right, handling every detail, from the insurance to the repair to the perfect finish. We get you back on the road quickly with a smile on your face and a lifetime warranty in your pocket. Duncan Auto Body, Allentown and Quakertown. Quality, service, certified.
Create a retirement roadmap with Eric Engel of Janney Montgomery Scott. Contact Eric Engel today at ericengel.com.
I'm good. Athletes try talking themselves out of being hurt.
I'm good.
Working past the pain because they want to keep on playing.
Okay. I'm good.
Coordinated Health understands. As the #1 sports medicine team in the region, we get these champions back in the game with pro-level care. Yeah, I'm good. Because we make you better together.
The all-new Rothrock isn't just new cars. We're your certified pre-owned super center. All certified vehicles pass a 125-point inspection, backed by a 100,000-mile warranty. Certified pre-owned means the cream of the crop at Rothrock. Like these certified pre-owned specials. Just a couple of the over 300 premium cars, trucks, and SUVs always in inventory. Don't settle for used. Buy with confidence. And put a certified smile on your face at Rothrock Pre-Owned Super Center.
27-14 your score as we welcome you back here to J. Bernie Crum Stadium in Allentown, now DeCarlo Matt Province. Take a look what happened in quarters 1 and 2 as we bring in our Rothrock Motors first half highlights.
Well, it was interesting, too. We'll start with the team that trails right now, the Crestwood Comets. A lot of effort, a lot of not giving up when they got behind 20 points early on. Here's a big reason why. Idledinger, their leader offensively, catches what's essentially a pass of no yardage in terms of distance, turns it into a positive gain. That one was 9. And then look at this. Guys are hitting him, guys are wrapping him up, but he's still twisting and turning, falling forward, moving chains, and allows for other things to happen. They change the pace, they go to the backside, and they bring in their home run hitter, Tanner Kalu, and Kalu was able to rush that one in from 15 yards out. That touchdown was his 13th of the season. And then you're going to see this, the defense creating a turnover. And they're jumping on the football as a Comet. It's John Macri setting up another great effort by Idledinger from 1 yard out, plowing through brown jerseys, fighting pay dirt, and at that point making it a one-possession game at 20-14. It's now 27-14, and here's how Becca would do it. First play of the game. Are you kidding me? The fans aren't even in their seats yet. And McDaniel gone 61 yards through the middle. weaving his way into open field, finding pay dirt. Oh, good start for this young man, but he wasn't done. How about his second carry? Well, it's going to come maybe earlier than expected. A little confusion there on the spin series. The ball drops out. A couple of guys on it for Becca. Schroeder, Benbrook come up with the recovery, and then how about this carry? Okay, one was good from 61 yards out. How about 29 yards, shifting, scampering, left, right, left, into the end zone. Second rushing touchdown of the game for McDaniel, his 29th of the year. Oh, they also have a very vaunted passing game. 40-yard post right on the fingertips of E.J. Finneran. What a toss by the quarterback, Julian Spigner. First of his 2 touchdown passes. The next one wasn't going to be as great in distance. It's a 1-yarder. Can't get much shorter than that, but watch the hands. This guy's going to play in the Big Ten most likely. Committed verbally to Rutgers, and you see Freddie Simmons hold on his first touchdown of the day. They missed the extra point on the third of their 4 touchdowns you just saw, so we're at 27-14. Al, you have the stats. And a lot of yards early on the ground, really for both teams, but especially for the Golden Hawks.
Yeah, well, as far as the halftime numbers, they see for Crestwood 4 of 5, 35 yards passing, 129 yards on the ground. They're averaging 5.3, but look at the time of possession, 14:21 to 9:39. Of course, they scored 2 touchdowns in a minute and 30 seconds, so a little bit different. 79 yards via the pass, 260 yards on the ground. They're averaging 11.8 yards per play, at this point. And if you look at Bethlehem Catholic, McDaniel, 10 carries, 147 yards and 2 scores. He's averaging 14.7 yards rush. Finneran has 3 receptions for 58 yards and a touchdown. And, talking about, what they've been doing to this point, you had that lead, you had the advantage. The time of possession is the other way. Football teams weren't sure which way they were kicking here, so we'll start things again here in the second half. But at the same time, this becomes an interesting drive because it's Crestwood that gets the football first here in the second half. Again, they went back in the locker room. It's a little colder outside. They're getting back. It's starting over again. You talk to your coaches again. All right, let's regroup. We'll see how this happens here.
Got a good look at Michael McDaniel, who had the 2 touchdowns early on, the first 2 of the game. And now his special teams unit out there.
Underway, second half, and it's fielded right around the 6-yard line or so for Crestwood. And still marching up, and those feet keep on moving, keep on trucking. A good job there by Jay Popson. And now he'll come back out and set the offense for this team.
That's a good look at Greg Myers. This guy was a tight end for Virginia Tech when they played in the Sugar Bowl, a national championship game. They wound up losing to Florida State. Was a teammate of Michael Vick's. And here his offense a little bit different than what Frank Beamer ran back 14 years ago. But certainly he's hoping that this single wing, this deceptive offense, which can work because teams can't prepare for it, can work well in inclement weather. And so far it's worked decently tonight.
Yeah, it was back in '99 here. First down and 10 from the 32-yard line and straight up the middle, but nowhere to go. Golden Hawks defense comes up tight on Eideldinger.
And it's Benbrook again with the tackle, a guy that was singled out by his head coach for outstanding play on that defensive line earlier in the week. Big kid is Benbrook, 6'3", 280 pounds. And there's a look at Finneran, who's a different body type, but certainly as effective a defender on this Bethlehem Catholic Golden Hawk defense.
Talked about Greg Myers and the job he has done, in his 9 years. But the last 4, 36-4. He said, well, we knew we were going to be pretty good this year. As Popson avoids being sacked the first time, now decides to throw it away, but he almost got picked off instead. Is coming out of nowhere was Darius Aldridge.
Good pressure by Schroeder. Al, you can look at a lot of positives, and there have been and will continue to be, I'm sure, throughout the course of the game for Bethlehem Catholic, but there have been a lot of opportunities to bring guys down on first contact that haven't been taken advantage of. They had a chance at a big sack. Now, granted, it almost turned into an interception. Ryan Johnson put on the pressure on Popson. But again, credit the Comets because they're not going down easily, and they've been able to avoid losses or maybe lengthen gains by their ability to make the first man miss.
Second down and 11. Just about a minute into the third quarter. Popson looking, throwing, and connecting as he gets Lance Blass That's his first catch of the game as he gets up towards midfield and maybe down to the 49-yard line. His 4th reception of the year.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because he is a wide receiver, Al, and Blas, an all-conference defensive back, has more interceptions, 9. He led the Wyoming Valley Conference in picks than he does catches, now 4. But he's a guy that's very athletic, good hands. And how about the delivery again by Popson? Stood tall in the pocket, didn't panic as it slowly started to converge on him and delivered a beautiful shot right to the fingertips of Blas.
So the ball down to the 48. Comments trying to make this opening drive of the second half worthwhile. And they'll go on the ground as they're accustomed to do.
Number 3, Frank
Eideldinger again with a carry. However, so far in two runs by Eideldinger through the middle. Good job there defensively by the Golden Hawks.
Yeah, again, he didn't go down. I'd love to see the number of carries to how many times he actually hits the ground, because I'd say about 50% of the times he's been stopped, it's been via a whistle than it has, hitting the ground. But there, a good job by Benbrook, who's a big part of that middle. He's a big kid, fills that defensive tackle role very well, and he's made a couple of nice stops here on this drive alone.
2nd down and 8 from the 46. Motion to the near side, and see what happened there. It took a lot of time, or was there a timeout call? No, there was a flag.
May have been a shift. Let's see if they got him for an illegal shift. No, false start.
False start against Crestwood.
Took a lot of time to get that play going, and now the penalty against Crestwood moves them back in their own territory.
Yeah, you got the old double pump by the big center. They can't do that, and I think that Peters played a pretty good season this year. Knew it as soon as he did. Heck, he's been an all-conference offensive lineman, so you know he's had a good season there, but a little off cadence, a little out of rhythm with his quarterback, Popson.
So inside 10 to play. We're in the 3rd quarter in the PIAA playoffs, opening round. Popson trying to find a little seam, now gets to the outside. He gets knocked out of bounds by Simmons after about a 3.5-yard pickup.
Well, I might be Eideldinger's agent by the time the broadcast comes to an end, but he was out in front blocking. He set the edge, and he just got out there and gave Popson at least an additional 5 yards. I want you to watch this here. Watch on your screen, your low left corner. Look at Eideldinger. He's just moving guys back, plowing guys even when he's not running. Elijah Finneran is an all-conference player, and sure enough, he moved him back about 5 yards to help Popson get some positive yardage.
Bring up a 3rd down. Again, you're in that situation here, depending on when you get here. 2-down territory possibly for Crestwood. 3rd down and 7 from the 45. Shalosky in motion far side. They pump that way. Popson now going to have to tuck and go, and nowhere to go as he finds all brown jerseys. And that one, again, he's been busy, and that's Dante Leonardo.
And Leonardo didn't get fooled at all. I mean, this is the first time we've seen this arrangement offensively. The setup featured trips up on the top of your screen, and this is usually a team that has 3 guys in the backfield, not out in a passing route. The idea was to pump fake and then tuck it away and go, unless he just decided to eat it because of the fact the defense was out there. But a good job staying home on the line, and Leonardo there finishing off the hit. That's a big stop. Had they gotten 2 or 3 more yards, maybe they're going for it right here.
Back to receive is number 5.
So they'll have to punt here. Again, with Popson punting, you never know. He gets a good one off. This one's going to send Freddie Simmons back to his own 2-yard line. Decides to field it and breaks through. And Simmons cuts across and will keep on going across to the 15-yard line. So again, he's dangerous with the football. They've held him in check for the most part tonight. Good job there by Crestwood covering up, but still the ball now at the 15-yard line.
Freddie hit himself there. I don't know if he's saying, yeah, I probably shouldn't have fielded inside the 5-yard line, but he's so dangerous in space, and he's trying so hard to become more of a factor in this game. Has only had 2 catches. Of course, one was a 1-yard touchdown toss, but he's a guy that wants to operate and has the ability to tear apart a defense, but they're maybe trying to make a little bit more for himself since he hasn't had the opportunity on the receiving end.
All of a sudden, the clock's not going because the penalties started coming on the far side of the field. Timeout called, the first one of the second half. AB Doors and Windows timeout goes to Crestwood with 8:13 on the clock. If you're just joining us here on Service Electric 2 Sports, Bethlehem Catholic jumped out to a 20-0 advantage in the first quarter, but things changed from there as they cut the lead. Crestwood did to 20-14 before a 1-yard touchdown pass from Julian Spigner to Simmons made it 27-14. We're now in the third with 8:13 on the clock, and Bethlehem Catholic with their first drive of the second half.
Good look at the defensive unit. Now the offensive unit out here for Bethlehem Catholic. Kyle Haas, the offensive coordinator, has been together with head coach Joe Henrik for about 10 years. And, you know, really the whole coaching staff works well because they share philosophies. They're friends outside of the game. They had a plan when they came in. Now they thought maybe a 3 to 5 year plan to get this thing turned around. And with a lot of work and a lot of stress, here you are in week 4. They're in the state playoffs. And, you know, they're, about 20 minutes away from perhaps advancing to a second round.
Ball gets loose, it gets popped out, there's a big stick, and Crestwood comes up with a football and getting that one.
Number 51, Michael Italiani Jr.
Yeah, you wanted Italiano to get involved. He has gotten involved. That's what they announced. He's wearing a different number than the roster they gave us. But how about that stick out? A big time for this defense.
That wasn't Italiani. Italiani's on Bethlehem Catholic. And
that's what they announced, right?
Yeah, he gave us the number. There was a number change, and I just don't remember who he gave us.
You know, Josh Kaminsky was supposed to be wearing 21. I bet he's wearing 51. He had a little spill issue. Now, I'm a guy who knows about spill issues. I do it all the time. He spilled Gatorade on his uniform coming over here, so he's wearing 51. It's not anybody. They announced Italiani on the PA system. I think it's Kaminsky.
So the fumble, and Crestwood gets it right back, and they go far side, and there's a completion made into the hands of Shalosky.
It's caught by number 11, Connor Shalosky. Tackled by number 2, Michael McDaniel.
So Shalosky makes the catch, and all of a sudden knocking on the door at the 10-yard line is Crestwood. Eideldinger. Far side, cuts across and inches a little bit closer as he gets popped out of bounds. Right around then, let's see where they're going to mark this one, probably around the 2-yard line, maybe even closer.
I have been very impressed with the efficiency of Popson. You know, he just made another completion. He hasn't thrown a whole lot this season, but tonight he looks as accurate a high school football quarterback as we have seen all year long. And as a result of it, his team is knocking on the door again, trying to make it a one-possession game here. I like this Popson.
So the fumble coming by McDaniel, and then the recovery, and now the ball sits at the 2. Eideldinger pops it in front, and he goes in for the touchdown. We've got a game here in the third quarter.
We certainly do, and look, some long looks now on that side of the guys in brown and gold, and it wasn't that way early on in the first quarter. Crestwood beginning to believe, and the defense has created 2 fumbles out, and the offense has been able to complement both times, scoring off the turnover, this time on the fumble, as you mentioned, by McDaniel. But again, great capitalization, good yinging and yanging by this Comet defense and offense.
So on the first drive for Bethlehem Catholic, they fumble the football. And now the extra point here by Connor Keenan, and that one is up and through to cut the lead to 6, 27-21. So a game that started 20-0 has changed momentum. Crestwood down still by 6, however. They're coming little by little and make the big defensive play.
Yep, the fumble started the whole thing up, and let's get a look now at these Comets here in the third quarter. Starts right here. Ball is knocked loose. I believe it was Eideldinger who made the hit and then the guy with the different jersey, is he 44? Is he 21? No, he's 51. It doesn't matter. He picks up the fumble and sets this up. First the pass, that's going to get him down to the 10-yard line. Schalowski with 3 grabs tonight, and then Eideldinger, little shoulder there at the 5, stayed on his feet, got it down within striking distance, and then from 1 out, gets the block. Again, it's his quarterback. How about that? You've got the quarterback, Jay Popson, leading on the block. You've got Eideldinger doing the rest. And as Al said about 2-3 minutes ago, do we have a game here in Central Allentown?
7:39 on the clock, a 6-point game, 27-21. Bethlehem Catholic going to get the football back here as getting ready to kick off is George Gendler. The lefty foot skips this one through, and that one will roll back and picked up at around the 11-yard line by Simmons. Simmons now tries to get to the outside and will get up towards the 40-yard line. So good field position here for the Golden Hawks here on this drive.
Now, I mentioned earlier about how I like Pops. You look at the 2 quarterbacks, and Bob Mesko, our statistician, was all over it after I made the comment. Spigner is 6 of 7, okay, so he's passing 86%. Popson is 6 of 8, 75%. These quarterbacks are a combined 12 for 15 on a 29-degree night in the state playoffs. I tell you what, that's signal calling. These guys are getting it out and getting it where it needs to be.
That fumble recovery was Frank Cordero. Cordero wearing 51, not 99. Oh, we saw him out there wearing 99 earlier, though.
Repeat first down.
Maybe some hot cocoa, because that cocoa stains a white jersey. I can tell you, I know from experience, but didn't matter. Cordero, another all-conference player. Again, I mentioned earlier they have 11 of them, and it seems like all 11 are doing their part to get themselves back in this game. And it's their first ever state playoff game at Crestwood. They're trying to win it. False start, too. I mean, now you're giving some more momentum to the guys in white, red, and black.
Not only the guys, but the fans for Crestwood, really, you can hear them. Spigner going to throw, middle part of the field, and that one pops in and out of the hands of E.J. Finneran.
I think Eideldinger got his finger on it. If not, Finneran's going to kick himself all the way back to the line of scrimmage for dropping this. But that ball was delivered, a sharp strike from the quarterback there, Spigner, who had only thrown 1 incompletion beforehand. I think that Eideldinger got a hand on it. Let's get a look. Great job by our truck getting the replay queued up. Eideldinger goes up. I don't know.
It's a hangnail there. I think.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I like that we go back and forth there. It's a good job out there. Those guys are warm. Usually, we're the guys who are in the warm press box enjoying the food and the warm beverages. Forget about it. The guys in the truck are the lucky ducks tonight, but they're obviously working hard. Good job back there, guys.
Second down and long from the 35. Spigner on the pitch has McDaniel. McDaniel nowhere to go as he gets hit hard on the play by Lance Bloss.
Bloss just ate him up. I mean, swallowed him up. He read the play beautifully. It was strung out. Then he went in for the kill, and he didn't miss. Wrapped up beautifully, and the ball's going the wrong way for the Golden Hawks. Let's get a look at this one. Little pitch out. You got to make one-on-one tackles. Early in the game, they did not. Remember those long runs? All of a sudden, they are. Bloss, a beautiful play.
4th time tackled for a loss to Golden Hawks. Spigner going for everything, but that one's overthrown, or is it? As he was looking downfield for Finneran, and Finneran actually caught up with the football, but it was still incomplete.
All you heard about were the receivers for Bethlehem Catholic. And you should. These two are some talented, terrific ball catchers. But you've got 3 all-conference defensive backs playing defense for the Comets. Chang knew he couldn't let Finneran get behind him. Stepped up, made the play, went for the football, helps knock it out. That's a great series defensively. First Bloss, then right there, Chang. This team is fired up over there.
Sean McGregor back to punt for Bethlehem Catholic. So the Golden Hawks call a timeout here with 6:51 on the clock. 27-21 is your score. ABE Doors and Windows timeout comes here for the Golden Hawks. I'm not saying unraveling, but boy, I tell you what, the Comets are just continuing to put pressure. They're getting the sacks. They're getting the good plays on the tackles. We mentioned 4th tackle for a loss for the Comets at that point, and the momentum is really starting to swing. When you can get an away crowd going, you're doing a good job of it.
We're going to look at the bracket here for the PIAA playoffs. And as you can see here, you go to the bottom of this little graphic here, our bracket. You got Crestwood and Becca playing the winner of Selinsgrove, as you talked about, and Somerset. And then, you're all over the place here now that you're in state playoffs, with the finals being that second week in December. So both teams trying to move into the quarterfinals. And this one's going to go down to the wire, it looks like.
Yeah, brackets brought to you by Rentschler Chevrolet, Crestwood Jeep, Dodge, Ram. No matter what you're looking for, Rentschler has it on Route 873 in Slatington. Imhotep, of course, up in class. They're in the 3A classification. That would be an interesting matchup against Archbishop Wood, is always a factor in the 3A class. Ready to punt this one off is McGregor. And that one goes straight up and now backwards. And they're going to have good field position right at midfield with an opportunity to take the lead for Crestwood.
I tell you, Crestwood has the ball bouncing its way right now, and everybody on that sideline has a new sense of energy, Al. They were flattened early on. Now look at this sideline. Well, we didn't see this in the first quarter, but you can see guys are starting to question things a little bit. It didn't go that way early on, 20-0. But I'll tell you what, I credit the kids from Crestwood for taking that big blow and never giving up. They have fought back hard, and they're right in this thing.
Eideldinger tries to skip for a couple yards.
Big Will Ward with that cast and all, able to make the tackle. Had 28 tackles this season, 8th on the team. And he was not going to let Eideldinger make another yard after contact on that run.
We're in the third quarter here from J. Brennan Crum Stadium in Allentown. What looked to be maybe a possible blowout in favor of Bethlehem Catholic. They scored 2 touchdowns in a minute and 28 seconds. They scored 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. Jumped out to a 20-0 advantage, but no blowout now. Now an opportunity for Crestwood to battle all the way back and possibly take the lead. 27-21, second down and 8. The ball sits at the 47, and Popson will turn and run. And still cuts upfield. He found a little seam. Not sure how he did that. Ends up getting across the 45 down to about the 43.
Yeah, head coach Joe Hendricks said people talk about the offense that McDaniel provides, but he's pretty good on defense as well. He's had a great year for us, and sure enough, he makes that final stick. Popson shifty as well, but if Popson gets one more stride, maybe one more little inch of territory, he's got that thing for a first down. So good job by McDaniel trying to atone for the fumble that allowed that third touchdown for Crestwood. And now a big third down for this offense.
We approach the 5-minute mark of quarter number 3. Put the ball down right at the 43-yard line. Third down and 4. Popson, good blockers in front, but a lot of brown jerseys will bring them back. And now we'll bring up a 4th down and decision time. Do you pin back Bethlehem Catholic, or do you go for it here, Matt?
Well, they have all the momentum in the world going their way. It's a hairy proposition, because if you allow Becca to get that momentum back, you're going to kick yourself for not doing the football savvy thing, perhaps by punting it away and trying to pin him in. And it does appear as though they're going to fight the temptation of going for it.
You hear the special teams. Yeah, you hear the oohs and ahs from the fans from Crestwood. They're not used to this at all. Being like, a couple yards, come on, what are you talking about? However, remember, Popson is your. Now I'm going to say, Popson is your. They're going to shake this and they're going to try to run with it. Here's Popson. Popson rolls. He'll get the first down. Popson through the defense. Inside the 35. On the fake, they get it.
Well, I don't know how much time Greg Myers has spent at Bethlehem Sands, but a little gambling there on 4th down. How about that? On the 40-yard line, decides to get aggressive here. It's been the style of play they've held all year long. This is a gutsy call. If he doesn't get it, we're questioning, we're wondering, we're asking. He gets it. Oh, boy, they look like a hero, and more importantly, they keep that sidelines excited. They keep the momentum going, and they keep the Bethlehem sideline looking flat, like that Coke that was on your in your dashboard, on your cup holder for about 2 weeks.
They'll come near side. And there's some space going through everyone. There is Kalu.
Change of pace. It's a counter. Everybody is so geared up on what Popson has been doing, what Eideldinger has been doing. They come on the backside with a guy who's a different type of runner than Eideldinger, as I mentioned earlier, but a guy that can certainly do a good job running the ball aside from just setting the edge. And sure enough, they are inside the red zone, a touchdown and an extra point away from a lead. I didn't think I'd be saying it the way this game started off.
Eideldinger has the edge. If he get out there, he does, and now pushes forward and get knocked out of bounds right around the 10-yard line.
Takes the direct handoff.
Can they get that first down without scoring a touchdown?
Watch the quarterback, Popson. He's again the lead blocker here. And he's coming down, he seals off an edge, and eventually the guy he blocked did make the tackle, McDaniel, but just by being an obstacle, Al, it got probably 3 to 4 more yards for Eideldinger. Again, that's that unselfish play from the quarterback position that is demanded when you run the single wing, as they do here at Crestwood.
They move it outside the 10 to the 11-yard line, and they hand this one off, and again, on the carry is Kalu, and Kalu gets close to that first down marker. I'm not sure if... There ain't no signal yet. Yeah, now there is. So the first down, first and goal here for Crestwood.
Okay, Lou feeling it. High five for Popson.
Momentum continuing here for the Comets.
The result of the play is a first down for Crestwood. First down and goal.
Wow, what a series this is, huh?
Well, they said, you know, you have Popson back there as a punter. Anytime you have a quarterback as a punter, anything's possible. They decide to catch him off guard. The ball from the 7. Popson will skip through his legs there for a second, and McDaniel is going to be helped and bringing him down with Leonardo.
Well, McDaniel was all about will there. First of all, he was probably sniffing that ball when it was on the turf, hoping he could get there fast enough to get on it and get it into his clutches before it was scooped back up. This could have been disastrous for the Comets. Low snap. The ball's down there. That's about the most anxious nanosecond of the game thus far for Popson. He doesn't pick that ball up. That might go the other way, 97 yards or 93 yards.
And he didn't decide to drop it or go on. He's saying, I'm picking up and trying to get positive yards here. Under 3 to play, third quarter.
Big test for that front 4 here. It's going to be a heavy dosage of runs, you would think. Where they're going to go, to whom, that's the question.
Second and goal. Eideldinger trying to make that turn, and there's nowhere to go. Good job defensively there by the Golden Hawks.
Joshua Aaron and number 9.
I like Leonardo a lot. Leonardo goes out. Look, you got a guy stringing the run out. Leonardo shoots it. You see how fast he shot in there, Al? At the bottom of the pile, good job there by Josh Herron. But I love the way Lozado was able to spot the ball. And I keep Leonardo spot the ball and just go right after him like a missile.
This is going to be the 10th play of this drive. And they'll put this one at the 6th. A 10-play, 4-minute drive at this point. Bob Mesko all over it in cold weather. From the 6. Pops in, and he pops through again. A 6-yard touchdown. We're tied up at 27. Wow.
Yeah, and the guys up front don't get a whole lot of credit. Not many times we've said their name tonight. Typical of a football broadcast. But you're not getting these 4, 5, 6 yards run after run if you're not getting a push off the ball, off the line. And sure enough, they're able to give a seam to whoever's running, whether it's Kalu, whether it's Eideldinger, whether it's Popson. And now this is unbelievable. I mean, the way this thing started, this is quite a testament to Crestwood and their discipline mentally to have fought back as quickly as they did.
Connor Keenan, extra point attempt for the lead, and it is good. And for the first time tonight in the PIAA playoffs here in the first round, Crestwood at 12-0 has the lead, 28-27. Take a look.
Look at this Comet invasion, and it starts with the fake punt. We thought maybe the smart thing may have been just to pin it in, keep the momentum going. This is a huge play. It dictates which team feels good about themselves. Popson feels pretty good about himself, a harbinger for how the drive was going to end. Okay, now you go back, you turn things around to the backside with Kalu. This guy, now look at him go. And a little engine that could, just chugging away. Big positive gain inside the red zone. Eideldinger, you know, he's going to be involved. He puts down a shoulder, gets an extra couple of yards before going out of bounds, and then pops in, whoop, scamper a little leap in there. And sure enough, he has found pay dirt for the first time. So Eideldinger has been in twice. Kalu earlier, now pops in 4 rushing touchdowns for a team that prides itself in its ability to perform on the ground. And holy Toledo, hold everything. 28-27 Comets.
10 plays, 49 yards, 451 on that drive. And gives Crestwood the lead, 28-27. And again, you said this earlier, if you turn the TV off or change it, they're going to go for the onside kick, try to catch him off guard. And that one pops right into the hands of Sean McGregor. Boy, I tell you what, Greg Myers, in these games, he's pulling everything out and saying, listen, we have momentum. We're going to keep trying to get this momentum. Now you give him a short field, but at the same time, trying to catch him off guard. Take a look.
I didn't suspect this either. And you know what? You can't second-guess a guy who's been able to push some right buttons like Myers has been tonight. That one didn't work out. But, the other thought process could be this, Al. This is a home run hitting offense. If they're going to break one, they're going to score, whether it's from 60, whether it's from 55, whether it's from 90. And so, you know what? Let's try. And, they tried, it didn't work. Now it's up to the defense not to allow that home run.
It's at the same time, does it give you a spark here to the Golden Hawks? Yeah. And saying, wait a minute, what are they trying to onside kick now and catch us off guard? Let's get back into things. And I think if you're Joe Henrik right now, it's just, looking at the team saying, hey, we were here last year. You guys want to go further. What do you want to do to advance us and see what happens here? A minute and 30 on the clock, a winnable game by either team. Momentum on one side, not the other. However, lots of talent here for the Golden Hawks.
Cordero got low on a guy that is so tough to size up, to line up. And then, of course, Eideldinger polished off McDaniel. So for a guy that just gashed this defense, 2 runs for 90 yards early on, they've done a great job adjusting.
And the Golden Hawks haven't really been tested all year. Here's Simmons. Simmons cuts to the near side, tries to make the turn, and will get taken down and driven out of bounds, but he will get the first down and move the chains.
They get it to your playmaker. They bring the end around, a bit of a jet sweep here for the Golden Hawks. He makes me nervous how that ball is out there like a chicken wing. Look at this, like a loaf of bread here. But the thing of it is, he's so confident. He knows that he's got a clutch on it, and it's allowing him to utilize that speed. And boy, can he go from stop to start in a very good rate, as fast as they come here at this level of football.
There's a flag on the play.
How many men were on the field here for the Comets?
Like 18.
So one got racing
Dead
off.
Dead ball. Illegal substitution on White.
Illegal substitution against Crestwood.
So now all of a sudden, and them swing in the direction of the Golden Hawks. The Golden Hawks are going to go here.
Is that the first accepted penalty on Crestwood tonight? I look right at Bob. Yeah, no, I'm off, yeah. It's not their first. They've had 3 others. Welcome to the football game.
Trips far side. Spigner gets hit as he throws, and that one incomplete. McDaniel was getting held, and that is going to be a flag.
And I can tell you now, that might be the 5th accepted penalty on Crestwood. Should it be what we might think, which would have been a hold or a pass interference, as they were trying to prevent McDaniel from getting the pass downfield. Let's wait and see. Yeah, hold, not a pass interference, but a hold before the ball was released.
Yeah, take a look here, McDaniel.
Holding on the defense. 10-yard penalty, result of the foul, first down.
They're going to get Macri there as they were battling down. Obviously, the Crestwood fans not going to like it one bit.
Well, they remember last year. Remember, we talked about this earlier, a controversial non-pass interference on the final play of their 14-13 loss in the championship game to Berwick a year ago. This time there is a flag, so I'm sure they're not happy about that.
McDaniel. Wow. He got through there in a hurry. McDaniel's going to try to cut to the outside. Cuts in. Touchdown. 27 yards. Mike McDaniel. 3rd of the night. Golden Hawks back on top. Comes with 38 seconds left.
I was thinking earlier, I said Emmitt Smith. You see little Darren Sproles in this guy? I mean, the way he can just jump step and just weave his way downfield is remarkable. He's fun to watch in open field. Eideldinger fun to watch in traffic. Certainly McDaniel fun to watch in the open field. And that's, I tell you what, that's the perfect response for this Golden Hawk team, scoring as quickly as they did after falling behind for the first time.
Well, they're going to go for a 2-point conversion here to try to increase the lead to 7.
Come on.
So they bring Spigner in once again. Nathan Burke is in the backfield as well with McDaniel. You got Simmons lined up to the near side. They're going to throw. And they're going to throw in for the 2-point conversion. So everybody was thinking Simmons, they go to Leonardo.
Leonardo had just 4 catches coming in, but you're so worried about Finneran. You're worried about Simmons. You're worried about McDaniel. So Lozado able to sneak through. And this was exactly what the doctor ordered if you're a Becca fan. And it started with this, getting their playmaker Simmons involved. He was able to get a first down and move the chains on that run. And then here, it's not necessarily going to be statistically an advance for Becca, but a penalty on a hold, move the chains again. Now, I love this run here. He's going right. Look, a little juke there. He's coming back left, sheds a man, setting up a block. How many runbacks will set up a block in the middle of the field, 30 yards downfield? Well, McDaniel does, and he's able to get that block from E.J. Finneran, and he's been in the end zone 3 times, with all 3 being big chunks as he scores here. And what a year for McDaniel, who's now got 30 in terms of rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, we talked about him earlier. He was tied with Scipio coming in with 31 touchdowns. And only 2 guys, I mean, little by little, depending on how they do. He just passed Barlock with career touchdowns. And only Eddie Scipio with 66 has more than him now. So he's got 64. Eddie Scipio now at 66.
1,738 rushing yards coming in. And, you know, he wound up moving ahead of 3 guys last week, including Eric Marsh. And fans might remember Marsh for his job as a Leopard for Lafayette, left that program as not only the Leopards' all-time leading rusher at that time, but also the Patriot League leading rusher.
And you see Eric Marsh tomorrow at the Lehigh Lafayette game at Yankee Stadium, as all those alumni. Phil Stambaugh's game being played tonight, Pius X, and he will make his way to Yankee Stadium to watch the 150th meeting of Lehigh and Lafayette. McDaniel, 13 carries, $171 and 3 touchdowns tonight. He's been solid. Eideldinger on the carry. Eideldinger through the middle and still on his feet, and he's going to power forward and get right near that marker. Depending on the spot, he either got 9.5 for the first down.
Well, we already know there's going to be no quit in the comments. You know, how much faith, too, do they have at the end of that line? They are not afraid to run that play, that direct snap right, constantly, consistently, and yet it seems out every time they get anywhere from 4 to 7 or 8, 9 yards, and that's exactly how you move the chains. Do that a couple times, and cloud of dust.
27-14, it was at the half, and now after 3, it's Becca 35, Crestwood 28. Back after this on 2 Sports.
At Vinart's all-new Phillipsburg Easton Hyundai, you'll find great people in a great location ready to assist you with your next vehicle purchase. We'll give you the information you need to make an informed decision. Owe more for your trade than it's worth? We can help. Bad credit? We can help. Need a lower payment? We can help. And unlike the competition, when you choose us, you get Hyundai's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and our exclusive owner benefits package, standard with every purchase. Get all the facts at pehyundai.com.
35-28 is a score in favor of Bethlehem Catholic. Al DiCarlo, Matt Province here from J. Bernie Crump Stadium in Allentown. Your thoughts here as your water is getting frozen. You can't even drink your water.
I did not have any ice cubes in my water bottle on my way over here tonight. Okay, I didn't have an ice cube. The whole thing is like a big block of ice. I mean, if the Titanic was here at J. Bernie, look out. I mean, this thing is a solid brick. So much for drinking water. Meanwhile, we've got a good football game.
Yeah, we do. The ball's Eideldinger with the carry.
Move the chains again.
Yeah, get the first down.
It's not sexy football. I mean, if you're a fan of the new style, the spread offenses, I mean, with Bethlehem Catholic, they run more of a hybrid with the pistol, but it's not sexy football, but, you know, it was a recipe for winning a long time ago, and you don't see it a whole lot anymore in Pennsylvania. It's tough to prepare for. I mean, if you're the Golden Hawks, you really had 2 practice days for a whole different style offense that you hadn't faced at all this season. And sure enough, you keep pounding, and eventually they break runs, and that's been the formula for an undefeated 12-0 season.
Well, Matt, are we in a time here, they say 11:50 on the clock, whoever has this ball last may win? I mean, is that, it didn't start that way, but now it seems that it's going to go that way. Popson gets to the outside, lost the football, and the ball's on the ground, and Bethlehem Catholic has recovered. So just as I say that, the Golden Hawks come up with the fumble recovery from Popson.
Damian Diaz, the happiest guy in the joint. He was able to pounce on that fumble. and this is a big play. The fumbles have been a factor in the game for Bethlehem Catholic, fumbles that have allowed the Comets to come back, and now the second time it's put on the turf by Crestwood. Let's see what happened here. It was knocked loose. Will Ward, there's the big club. I told you that big club was something to behold. It knocks the football out. Credit this kid, the guts playing, and then making a huge stick. Diaz comes away with the pigskin, and what a stop for Becca. That was, all of a sudden now, after the onside kick went awry, a wave of brown and gold.
So we're in the fourth quarter. Big play there. Spigner looking to throw. He goes far side, and that one is incomplete as he was looking downfield.
Blas getting up there. Blas making a difference in that secondary against these terrific receivers. They give away some height to guys like Simmons, who's 6'3", to Finner, who's 6'3", but Blas at 6'1". Timed it well, got up, and
I don't think he touched it.
I don't know if he did get a piece, but enough great coverage whereby it was going to be shielded and out of the ability to pick up the football cleanly for Simmons.
Yeah, Blas with 9 INTs on the year, but I think that ball was just went in the direction of Simmons, and here's a huge hit on the play.
Number 2, Michael McDaniel.
I think Cordero might just want to wear 51 all the time, Al, because he's changing jerseys, but his style of play hasn't changed. This is what they call a decleater. I mean, as good a back as McDaniel is, he just, boom, pile drive 2 yards back on a stick by Cordero. Some textbook squared up tackling there by Frank Cordero, the senior and an all-conference defensive lineman.
3rd down and 10. Spigner to throw. He gets flushed out of the pocket, nowhere to go. As they come towards him and knock him down right at midfield, and look who it is.
Cordero, number 51 again. I tell you, he's coming up big, and I tell you, from Crestwood's perspective, Al, you had just suggested before the turnover, whoever got the ball last might be the winning team. The fact that that defense forced a 3-and-out to avoid a 2-score game shows you that they are still, with 10 minutes to go, not giving up the 10 here against the Golden Hawks.
So Sean McGregor will stay on his own 35-yard line.
Back deep is number 1, Lance Blas.
This should take a positive roll. It does. And it continues to make its way down. So fortunately for Bethlehem Catholic, McGregor's kick goes down to about the 20-yard line. So 9:36 on the clock. If you're just joining us here on Service Electric 2 Sports, you missed a really great game at this point. 20-0 Bethlehem Catholic after one, 27-14 at the half. Crestwood came back, took the lead 28-27, and that lead lasted about 1 minute and 20 seconds before Bethlehem Catholic scored to make it 35-28. That's where we stand now.
Well, Al, you know, this is what you want out of a playoff football game. You know, here you are in the state playoffs, first round, 25-degree night, and you've got two teams playing their heart out. This is fun.
Is that what it is, 25 degrees? On the handoff, and that's given to Kalu. Make that turn.
Tanner Kalu carries the ball. He's tackled out of bounds.
I've got quarter Doppler working over here. I don't have one or two, let alone triple, quadruple. No, I got 1/4. But either way, 5 yards there. Well, make it 2. They announced 5. Now they move it back. So 2 yards on the play.
Well, the guys in the truck give us the official forecast, 28 degrees, and then factor in the wind, feels like 20.
You know, I would have used my cell phone now, but with my water that has already turned into an iceberg, my phone and yours too no longer working because it was left outside on the counter here and it froze.
Yes, that's correct. On the ground they go. And Ward comes up with a big stop there.
He's tackled by number 6, William Ward.
I mean, overall, you look at Eideldinger and what he's done tonight. For a guy that's, rushed for 2,000 yards, Bethlehem Catholic has done a great job on him. He didn't, last week against Berwick had that 41-yard touchdown run, and, he rushed for 206 yards. They've kind of, he hasn't had that huge run. He continues to move forward and gets those, 6-7 yards here and there, but he hasn't crushed them in any way, shape, or form to this point.
Only so much you can do, and the fact that he's not going down to me shows that he's not being stopped because of his inability.
134 yards on the night. And Popson. He gets taken down in the play by Donovan West.
What a play. I mean, from a sack and a loss and having to punt down a touchdown to a first down, Popson and Spigner have been able to keep the play alive for their offense on several occasions. I want you to watch this. I don't know, he kind of ducks down there like he's faking a spike or something, but there is an opportunity for a sack. Two guys over pursue. He steps up in the pocket, knew when to tuck it away, and he does get nailed hard by Donovan West, but it was 1 yard too late. That's a tremendous play when it could have been a calamity.
Heideldinger gets 3 more.
Number 3, Frank Heideldinger takes the...
So 27 carries now for 137 yards.
Got some Eddie George in him, doesn't he? I'm watching this guy thinking he reminds me, at a different scale, at a different level. His ability to show vision, to be patient. He's not necessarily breaking away from guys, but he's able to get positive chunks of yardage. And eventually, if he does get a seam, look out because he can be explosive. And again, well over 100 yards in this football game against a terrific defense.
Ends up getting about 3.5, 4 yards. So second down, pops in a throw, pumps the first time. Now has his receiver downfield. He hangs up there a little too long. And with that, the interception by Simmons. He was looking in the direction of Connor Solosky, but Simmons read that the whole time.
That may be the first real mistake that Popson has made in this entire football game. He had the fumble earlier, but this time there's good coverage. He's got nothing on that edge, and you can see there you're throwing with a man blanketed by another defender who's 6'3", and a guy that's going to play in the Big Ten as a receiver who's basically become a receiver in this route with better position. That time, Popson just made a mistake. I'm sure he'd be the first to tell you, but Simmons is the wrong guy to slip up around because you know what he's going to do? He's going to take advantage. 4th interception this season.
So they get the ball at the 27-yard line. Again, with the lead is 35-28. And the Golden Hawks are not going to run. They're going to throw the ball, and they get this one to Simmons. And Simmons spins, and Simmons still on his feet, still elusive, and finally gets popped. Took 4 guys to take him down, and eventually Cordero is the one that makes the last stick. But he went around in a circle for a while there before they got him down.
Cordero coming back from the line, getting back into the play, which shows his ability to hustle. He's way in the defensive backfield when the ball's released. I mean, he's got Velcro on his hands because the ball stays in them. I mean, he makes great catches. I keep getting nervous when he's carrying this ball, but he's got this confidence that he's not going to lose a handle on it.
McDaniel.
Number 2, Michael McDaniel carries the ball. He's tackled by number 37.
Popson helped to trip up the ball carrier, and then Zabegner was able to wrap him up and finish him home for no gain. And it's now at 6:53 and counting, as you can see on the buggy atop your screen. So it's going to become an area of the game here, Al, where this defense can't afford to give up too many first downs.
Man, each time you run, though, you milk that clock down a little bit more, and they're going to go on the ground again. McDaniel cuts inside, now pops back outside and goes forward. And let's see where they spot this one. Short of the first down, he maybe picks up 8.5 yards. And again, you should be in no hurry whatsoever if you're Bethlehem Catholic. You have a 7-point lead and a second down and a third down and short coming up.
McDaniel's a track guy, runs track, and we haven't really seen him on a straight line. Even though he's galloped for all these huge touchdown runs, he's zigging and zagging. I feel like the guy could run in a track meet and still win the sprint by going into everybody's lane. He just glides. He's so graceful the way he runs.
And he'll get that one, dives through right at midfield. He moves the chains, first down here for the Golden Hawks.
He advances the ball to midfield, which results
Good look at the kid. He's a senior. 61 career touchdowns coming in, but tack on 3 more in this game. And his ledger, just tremendous.
Now they're going for this one. Downfield, that one incomplete. Surprised they're throwing here, Matt?
Well, you know what? They've run the last couple of plays. The game is still long from over. You've got 2 dynamite all-conference receivers. You don't mind taking a shot. It's one thing if you're only going to run a 10-yard route that if it's incomplete, it stops the clock. But when you go up top like that, it's a good idea. You're not going to stop. You're not going to keep the clock running, but you've afforded yourself a chance to try to get Finneran or Simmons involved. So again, that's the type of route I would run if I did put it in the air.
Yeah, they're going for it all there. Going to bring up a second down. Again, both teams with 2 timeouts remaining here in the 4th quarter. Spigner, near side, and it connects on the run making the catch is Damian Diaz, and Diaz still on his feet as he got a block and got across. They'll mark him outside the 30, maybe the 32-yard line, but again, thinking you're down, but you keep on going.
Yeah, and that's the difference between another play that's short of a first down, allowing the defense to make a stop, into a big gainer and a first down. And Diaz showing such great effort. He's got 12 catches now this season. And this one here moving the chains. And boy, Becca, when the Cards are down, be able to rise to the occasion.
Diaz again on the carry. As you saw that sideline, a little bit different than they were there in that second, third quarter.
He's tackled down.
Approaching the 5-minute mark of quarter number 4. Crestwood came all the way back to take a 1-point lead. Becca answered with a 27-yard touchdown run by McDaniel and a 2-point conversion. Spigner hit Leonardo. And that's where we stand, 35-28, as we are exactly now at the 5-minute mark.
We threw Diaz another bone, but don't forget he's a guy that did rush for better than 200 yards this season. And he earned it after his ability on that catch.
Spigner going to throw. And he's going towards the back, and that one is almost intercepted. He was looking in the direction of McDaniel, and Bloss, who has 9 INTs, almost came up with a pick.
And I thought the last pass was a good decision. This kind of reminded me of the ball that Popson threw that was intercepted. It wasn't there, and when you lead by 7 with 4:44 to go out, I don't know that you need to make this pass. And if you do, you're going to throw it to one of the 6'3 receivers. They didn't. They went to a guy who's not quite 6 feet tall against the guy, as you mentioned, with 9 interceptions. I don't like that matchup. That one I would want back if I was the quarterback in this situation in Julian Spigner.
Well, Freddie Simmons on one-on-one coverage here to the near side. And Spigner is going to dive through. Going to be short here of the marker. Well, now decision time, I assume. This distance, obviously, you're talking a 40-yard field goal or so, and then they're going to go for it.
Let me ask you this. I mean, how impressed with you, Al, of Cordero and his play in the second half?
Well, he's at one point made 3 consecutive tackles, and I think you're right. Change the play. Here's the play of the game at this point. 4th down and 2. Becker going to take the snap and they're going to go right to McDaniel. McDaniel going to push forward and move the chains for the first down as he gets to the 21-yard line.
Oh, a back-breaking run. McDaniel, this is one of those runs that's different from what we have seen from him throughout the course of the night. This is the run inside the tackles, and he's got to put his head down and make it happen. Watch this, because they came on a run blitz, and boom, they had a shot right there to make a stop. Rother, who's had a great game too, just couldn't knock him down. He's got such a low center of gravity, and he bounces off, backs up to the defense, and plows forward for a first down. Now you're inside of 4 minutes. You're inside of the red zone, and you can feel a little bit better. The defense here is at do-or-die time for the Comets.
Well, a 10-play drive gave Crestwood the lead. This is an 11-play drive right here, and the Golden Hawks are milking that clock a little bit more as they're going to wait it to roll down, as they're going to wait for the back judge to give the signal, and they'll give it to Spigner, and Spigner will give that one up.
Number 2, Michael McDaniel takes the handoff.
Again, the timeouts are 2 apiece. If you're Crestwood here, you could ill afford to give up any points.
Death taxes and that guy making a tackle, huh? Good look at Cordero. C on the helmet. Doesn't stand for Cordero, stands for Comet, obviously, but the way he's playing, he might make an abridgment. He has had a terrific game. Could be his final game if the defense doesn't stop and allow the offense to come back and tie this thing up, maybe force some overtime.
Second down and 10. It's McDaniel, and McDaniel gets taken down. Do you use a timeout here? That's the question, as he gets taken down to the ground by Bobek.
Yeah, and Popson, too, on another good play, too, Al. I mean, Bobek has had a great year. Cordero's having a great second half. And here's the quarterback. I don't know how many plays Popson's been off tonight, but he certainly didn't take that one off. I mean, that's a great individual effort. Getting down there, wrapping up, and for a guy who is so hard to square up, and McDaniel, he was able to do so coming down the line. And now you hope that McDaniel is okay. Our coordinated health doctor out there working with McDaniel, who's just so elusive and such a big part of this offense. Provides the balance to that vaunted passing game.
Now, if you're watching us here on a Friday night, obviously all the games being played here on a Friday night. Take a look as that shoulder goes down, and as does the head goes down as well. So that's got to be a concern if you're the Golden Hawks, as McDaniel got down and went down hard, so they will tend to him here. We mentioned all the games being played tonight as well. Good sign is he's going to make his way up. And one of the games being played in the single A classification, Pius X, they beat Delco Christian 29-22. They advanced to the PIAA Class A quarterfinals. So Phil Stambaugh will be heading to Yankee Stadium for the Lehigh Lafayette game. He'll be happy tomorrow after coaching his team here in the first round win.
And he was happy. I saw him Sunday morning. He was happy that he was able to choose which day he wanted to play on. They called him and said, "You want to play Friday and Saturday?" He chuckled. Are you kidding me? I'll tell you which day I'm going to play. I'm going to play Friday. I got tickets to go to the Bronx and watch Lafayette Lehigh, the 150th game. So they're working on McDaniel. You know, I think it's more the head than the shoulder. And now in the day of concussions, they've taken the helmet away from McDaniel. They're talking to him, but he looked a little woozy to me getting up, Al. I don't know which is the worst of the two possibilities, the shoulder, if it's minor, or obviously the concussion factor. But let's just hope for his sake, for Becca's sake, and you know, just for the whole sake of this PIAA playoff system, that he's going to be fine either way. Another big play upcoming. It's going to be third and about 8.5, we'll call it. A long 8, short 9, whichever you prefer. Well, another chance, but at this point, Al, I mean, it's almost dire that the defense make a stop. Might have to make 2 stops, because who knows if they're going to try to attempt what could be a game-sealing field goal range from this intermediate, sometimes very difficult range at this level. Yeah, you're talking about a 37-yard field goal, you know, right there. But let's see what they gain here. Crestwood, they try and get their fans in this one, and knowing what's at stake here. With a 3rd down and 9 from the 20-yard line. Looking to advance to round number 2. So with McDaniel out, they go back to Damian Diaz, who has had 2 very big plays, 1 catch and 1 run on the series, and he's back there behind Spigner. Still 2:29 on the clock, but really let's not even look at the clock at this point. This could be, and this is the play of the game to this point, 35-28. Golden Hawks with the lead and the football. I'm not sure what the delay is here. If I'm Crestwood out, I don't like this delay because they've kind of showed their hand. They are single coverage on all 3 receivers in the formation. Nobody is back as they've crowded the line of scrimmage, basically saying, we're going to take away 3 receivers with 3 guys and come with the house, our quarterback and Spigner. And now they'll have time to maybe assess this because, again, there's a stoppage for whatever the reason. Unless they're going to put more time on the clock or what. I'm not sure what happened here. The concern is the clock. That's what it looks like. Yeah, they're looking back at it. Yeah, they just put 4 seconds back on. Right, it was 2:29. Now it's 2:33. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. You're right, though. That's a big delay. At that point, McDaniel running the sideline. And, again, looks to be okay running. I'm going to check him out and make sure there's no signs of any kind of concussion or anything else. I think we'll look him up. But this is a heck of a delay here. This is a great play. I mean, you've got some terrific receivers, all single coverage. This will be fun. 3rd down and 9, the ball at the 20. Spigner, and gives it to Diaz, and there he goes! Inside the 5, touchdown! 20 yards, maybe the knockout punch on the touchdown by Damian Diaz. Well, nobody was back over the middle of the field, Al. It's a gamble. It's a risk, but sometimes it works out and you're a hero and your defense gets the ball back. Other times you get gouged through the middle, and once he got one seam, there wasn't anybody in the secondary over the middle of the field that was going to be patered if he could win the foot race, which he did. And you want to talk about a guy coming off the bench cold on a sub-freezing degree night. Diaz on this drive is the guy that could potentially seal a first-round state playoff victory for the Golden Hawks. Ward, extra point is up, and it is good. And the Golden Hawks have answered with back-to-back touchdowns. They lead by 14. That club by Shaw helped to knock out the football earlier to cause a fumble that led to some scoring. And then on the sidelines, you could see some happier Golden Hawks. This reminds me more of what it looked like in the first quarter. And let's get a look at this drive. I mentioned the name Damian Diaz. Well, he was going to get a chance with his offense after this. The interception here, it was thrown into man-to-man coverage. Freddie Simmons says, hey, look, I can catch him as an offensive player. I can certainly catch him as a defensive player. There's the offense. He's spinning. He's gliding. That guy's like a top. I mean, this guy's just all over the place like a whirling dervish. Tough guy to bring down. And then Diaz, this was the first of his big plays. He gets tackled right here. You're looking at a big third down play. No, he just stiff arms the man, avoids the double tackling situation there to get the first down. Then see more of this guy. Number 2 is 7 yards shy of 200 in a game for the 4th time this season. And then as Al pointed out during his play-by-play, that might be the knockout punch. Diaz right through the gut as they spreaded the defensive line all the way out, spread him clear through, and Diaz bolted through the initial wave and found Pater.
So still 2:26 on the clock, a timeout remaining for the Comets, but the disadvantage is they're down by 14 points. And, we looked at, the Golden Hawks earlier on when they jumped out to the 20-0 lead, and they looked unstoppable. Then all of a sudden, maybe some questions of what they're doing with the football a little bit, but the Comets said, hey, you know what? We're going to take advantage of what you give us. And that's exactly what they did, and end up taking the lead, but they have answered.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have done so many things well tonight. Both have done a few things that they'd like to maybe have done a little bit better, but, the game kind of going the way it started initially. Bethlehem Catholic obviously has the ability to outscore people. They have the ability to pass. They have the ability to run. If they shore up the defense a little bit, and they've held a pretty good offense, a tricky offense to 28 points, at least to this point, this is a team that could advance a couple more rounds.
Not sure what happened there, but offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct and I don't know when that happened, but it happens there, and obviously in the last minute and a half, things have changed considerably as it's taken a long time to even get plays off.
Keep in mind, Al, remember, Becca fell behind 28-27. They were down in this game after leading at one point by 20. And as of this point, they have 15 unanswered points at a pivotal point of this football game. And they are staring at a way of really avenging what was a very difficult, tough, emotional loss last year, 29-27 in round 1 of the state playoffs against Berwick. Trying to get rid of that memory.
Ward lets this one fly. It is picked up at the 10-yard line, and turning to that one is Popson, and Popson's still on his feet, moving forward. He gets ripped down at around the 37-yard line with 2:17 on the clock. If you're wondering those weapons, again, you're wondering the passes, Shaloski has 23 receptions coming into the game. He's their go-to receiver. Obviously, when you look at players that can make something happen, Eideldinger can catch the ball out of the backfield as well. Doesn't have that many catches, but he can do it. Now it's a question of who's going to get the football, and there's not much time here.
And really C in your multiple choice option here for the offense is that you've got a quarterback that can also run a little bit. So if he drops back, if he doesn't see anything there, makes a quick, wise decision, he can also chew up a lot of yardage on his, on his legs. But the key is, remember, you got to get out of bounds. You got to do something because this clock is not going to be the friend of the Comets with 2:17 to go.
Eideldinger, they're going to run with him. And spins through. And we'll gain about 4 or 5, maybe a little bit more than that. But
it's a nice run, Al, but like you're about to say, it's not going to really matter much because with 2 minutes in the clock counting, that's something Bethlehem Catholic will spot these guys. They'll say, here, take 6 or 7 yards, take 25 seconds off the clock, because if you do the math, you might not even score once, let alone twice.
First and 10 from the 37. Low snap. And driving through is Bobeck.
Number 12, Dave Thompson carries the ball.
Again, only one timeout.
He's tackled by number 32, Nathan Burke.
They get a lot of time here.
The ball is spotted at the 46-yard line.
Not a whole lot of alacrity, and the ball's going to get spotted, but down to 1:21.
Phillipsburg State Liners advance to the North 2 Group 4 final. They win 34-13 over Woodbridge. We'll have highlights of that one on Lehigh Valley Sports Scene on Monday. They'll get the first down here. They'll move the chains, and they'll stop the clock momentarily with 1:08 on the clock.
Bobeck, a senior, guy that is athletic, had 87 totes coming in, so even though he hadn't run the ball until late in this game, he's a guy that's certainly capable. Broke one off for 32 yards as a long during the season, but again, now you're at 1:08, 2 scores. This is where you'd love to have Finneran and Simmons out there for an offense, guys who can make the plays from the wide receiving position.
Final 57 seconds.
Number 6, Tanner Calero carries the ball.
So Crestwood came in with a record of 12-0. The Golden Hawks a year ago falling short in their game against Berwick. They lost in that one, and they knew they felt they were going to be back in this position, but more so for them, they wanted to move on to the next round, and tonight they will indeed do just that.
Yeah, a great job for both teams, because you love the fact that neither team was going to get through this game without adversity, Al. And certainly 20-0 out of the gates was adversity for Crestwood, but then falling behind for Bethlehem Catholic in the fourth quarter was certainly some adversity. They faced it, they overcame it, and they're going to win this thing 42-28 in advance. But tip your cap to both teams for playing hard and fighting through to the end in this first-round matchup tonight.
42-28, the Golden Hawks are moving on to round number 2 next week as they win this one by 2 touchdowns. Back after this on 2 Sports.
Do you know Cliff? Cliff & Company at ABE Car Care have always had the Lehigh Valley's auto repair needs covered. Cliff knows vehicles. He's at home on the racetrack, in the pit, and at either of ABE Car Care's Allentown locations. Want expert care to make your ride last? Get it in gear and come see Cliff and the gang at ABE Car Care.
Tune-ups, brakes, mufflers, inspections, and much more. Car Care Plus, only at ABE Car Care Centers.
Better hurry, hun. Don't want to miss the bus.
Don't worry, just check Lance's bus tracker app. It's on time, and so am I.
When you download the Lanta Bus smartphone app, you can check the arrival time of your next bus in real time. You can also check bus arrivals on your non-smartphone by texting or right from your computer. Download your Lanta Bus Tracker app at your favorite app store or from lantabus.com.
I love this bus tracker app.
Family Prescription Center in Bethlehem remembers when your pharmacist knew your name and your prescription needs. We've been serving your community for more than 111 years. Today, Family Prescription Center offers free delivery, old-fashioned customer service, and the best of today's technology. Visit our full line of compression stockings and socks. We provide professional and personalized sizing as well as ready-to-wear soft goods, including wrist splints, knee braces, and back support belts. Call to see how we can fulfill your prescription needs.
Looking back, your front door has been a part of some of life's greatest moments. At ABE Doors and Windows, we're celebrating 40 years of installing the finest doors across the Lehigh Valley, featuring superior construction and the best overall value in the industry. We have the perfect door for every home and budget. So whatever surprises may be waiting behind your front door, it's good to know there's someone you can trust. ABE Doors and Windows on Route 222 in Allentown.
At Corporate Images, businesses, teams, and schools can get the custom designs they want on any type of apparel, all with great quality and guaranteed on-time delivery.
Remember, at Corporate Images, your logo is our business. Visit corporateimagesinc.com to learn more or to place an order.
42-28 is your final score as the Golden Hawks are going to be moving on to round number 2. And I tell you what, this was not easy. It sure looked like it was going to be easy when they jumped out to a 20-0 lead on 2 touchdowns by Mike McDaniel, and then a third that came through after a fumble, and it made things happen. Take a look at Big Woody's big play, and this came late in the fourth, and it came on a pass play by Crestwood, but Freddie Simmons comes up with the INT. That's your big play.
Well, he's going to play potentially at Rutgers because of his wide receiving ability, but it's the same type of ball here. He's playing it like a wide receiver. I mean, you look on that screen, you didn't know who was throwing the ball. You must have thought, well, they're just running a go route on the outside, but Freddie Simmons there stepped up, and again, we say the old thing about big players and the big plays and the big times, we get it, but Big Woody's honoring that play because Simmons defensively was able to do things for his team. Maybe didn't get quite as involved offensively as he normally would, but when number 2 rushes for 193 yards and 3 touchdowns, you know what? You know your role, and on defense tonight, Freddie Simmons certainly made a difference.
Yeah, tonight's Iron Man of the Game brought to you by Pennsylvania Football Academy, located in Allentown. Provide the best off-season position-specific training in town. Please check out the website at pafootballacademy.com and see their coaching staff or NFL veterans and former college All-Americans. And you're going to give it to number 2 in Mike McDaniel. Pretty impressive night for him.
I mean, this guy is so exciting to watch. And you know what? If he was driving a car the way he ran, the cops are going to pull him over and see what he's doing in there, because he's zigging, he's zagging, he's all over the place, accelerating, and you just can't line him up. You just can't get in front of him. Look, that was a good play there. He froze the defender right in his tracks. McDonald had no idea which way he was going to cut, and then he pounces into the end zone at the end of it. This kid was fun to watch tonight. Hopefully he's okay. Left the game injured. Seems to be okay, but a couple of key sealing runs on that last drive before he handed the torch to Damian Diaz, and he did a lot of work on the ground beforehand. That kid was spectacular to watch tonight. We're talking about the senior Michael McDaniel.
So before we leave you tonight, Dunmore ends Northwestern season 35-27. Bethlehem Catholic wins here 42-28. They'll play Somerset next weekend in Richland High School in Johnstown as they win this one, and Pius X also moving on with the victory. Congratulations to Crestwood on a great year. They'll finish 12-1, and best of luck to the Golden Hawks. They are now 12-1 on the season. For Matt Province, for Bob Mesco, Dave Donio, and everyone here at Service Electric 2 Sports, I'm Al DiCarlo saying so long. Golden Hawks win this one by 2 touchdowns, 42-28, the final. Good night.